Check 1 2 1 2. We live?
We live?
Live?
We
Yo.
live.
Looks like we
Going
live.
on.
RP
We
Hiram?
live.
R.I.P. Hiram.
What's yeah? Who?
A minor.
Y'all remember that one card? All right, yo. To start us off, welcome to the Backseat podcast, where this is kind of an emergency episode. Kind of an emergency
Yeah.
episode. What?
He's just the third person on the side.
Always,
Yeah, we
always,
got-
always
the
on the
vibe.
grind.
That's the vibe, bro.
We got someone playing
the grind does not
post-ban
stop
already.
brother. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got myself, Justin, Santi playing over there. So
Hello,
Santi's
everyone.
not gonna be
I'll be here.
talking much. He's distracted.
Yeah. We're here.
But we are here in Bridgeview, Illinois at Supernova Toys and Collectibles. As you can see, everybody go check them out. This is where we record all the time. And the background, the last podcast, we didn't go over how the background changed. They switched locations in the same building, but now they have a bigger spot. So that's why we don't have the backdrop of the BSG poster like we usually do. But yeah, so definitely check out Supernova Toys and Collectibles, supernovatnc.com online to get any of your Funkos, action figures. I believe they have some sealed product online, but all their singles and everything they have currently are not posted online. So you'll just have to come visit us.
Whatever you can think of, they got it.
Absolutely.
We'll make it happen.
If you need like a McChicken or something, like while you're browsing, we got it. We'll
Olive
just go
Garden
right
order?
across the street.
An
Anytime.
Olive Garden order.
Garden, they have it on deck. But speaking of decks and the demise of some potential decks, we have a band that came in. Do we
Hey, that's crazy.
do we
Out of
know a
nowhere,
band?
out of
We
left
got
field.
two bands. Actually, I almost forgot about the second one right now because why? We'll discuss that. First and foremost, feelings, Justin, on the Hiram band. What do you think?
Feelings.
What are your initial thoughts on the band? We have Abe, just smiling, absolutely smiling. He's been
He's like,
waiting for
"Yeah,
this day.
Man, this guy has been saying Hiram is such a problem. 6 foot.
Yeah.
The only cost that can get rid of it, it's like 5 costs or higher. Which is true.
That is true.
Zeus doesn't even do shit to that card.
I don't know, because every time I play my Hiram, I actually enjoyed this last set because so
course.
many Sapphire Steel,
Of course.
Hiram lived.
Yeah.
Actually
That's true.
lived for once. All right, so anyway, initial thoughts.
My Hiram
Justin,
didn't live.
what's your initial thoughts?
The Hiram was, I think, so I remember playing DKP and World Class Gaming, World Class Cards. Yep.
Yeah.
And then he was talking shit about if we lose Hiram, my deck gets worse and his deck gets better, which is red blue versus me blue seal.
Sure.
I'm like, I thought about it. I was gonna rebuttal with some shit, and I'm like, you're right. I was like, shit, we have nothing. So I was like, okay, so all we have is Fortisphere and Popsicle and Tamatoa. And I'm
Right.
like, you know what? I'm okay with that. But guess what? Guess what, brother?
It's gone.
Fortisphere's gone too, which makes Sapphire Steel back in the binder, unfortunately. I think the Fortisphere was definitely too much. Hiram, though, I think it's okay. It's okay. I think my feelings towards the ban list in general is that I think, so personally, I didn't think that any card needed to be banned, right? I know we were in a stale format. I get it. But I think the solution was not to ban Hiram. I think the solution was to introduce new cards or new stronger cards.
So power
Introdu-
creep.
Introduce DLC to your announcements. That's what
Well,
they actually needed.
Sure, that too. But also, like, if they were gonna ban Hiram, which is like an okay card, I think they should have banned other cards. I don't know what the other cards would be. Maybe like
You don't want to
Sapphire
go
Coil.
crazy.
I'm just saying, because like I feel like what we need in this game right now is a change of pace in every corner.
Just ban it red blue as a color
No, just-
combination.
If anything, just ban Ariel, just ban the whole new world, ban Big Sisu.
God.
But like what happens there, right? So in that idea, what happens there is you shake up the meta, and we all have to cook a different deck.
Yeah, no way. No.
That's what
no.
needed to
That's
happen.
not what you do.
Because
no.
now look at this, right? So now look at this. Hiram gets hit, Fortisphere gets hit, Blue Seal is gone. It's gone. Kiwi is like whatever. Kiwi's a deck, but like it's not like, oh my god, I'm facing against Kiwi. I'm disadvantaged over this deck. That's not the case. It's never the case.
Mhm.
Now every deck is just playable, and we're still playing the same cards. Nothing's changed.
Well, you just started naming off cards to ban like a whole new world and things. Like a whole new world's not even a problem.
None of it's. That's what I'm saying. Because my argument is that none of these cards are a problem. The-
Sure, but like
the problem is that-
you don't have to be like completely on one end or completely on the other. You can be in the middle, or you can be under the middle, which is
Yeah.
kind of what it is now. Is like they banned 2 cards to switch up the meta a little bit, but not so much
It's not going
that
to
like
switch up
you're
anything. We're back to Sec 6 without Hiram. That's it.
I don't think red blue is going to be as dominant as you're just thinking it is.
It has
without
to be.
Hiram.
Yes.
There's so many. You
It's not.
know
It's not about the draw
you know
power
all
of this
the
deck.
times
It's the
where they're
fact that they
talking
play
about when they lose that they didn't have Hiram. It's like the times
against
when
a
red blue
person
talked
against a
about.
person who had Hiram.
No, but they just lose anyway. It's either they didn't have ramp or they didn't have Hiram. Regardless of how, like when they lost, it was always that. Regardless of
But
what
that's
they played.
because we are conditioned to like Hiram is the guy that draws cards. But like if we restructure this deck, like Hiram isn't the only way that we actually get value out of the cards that we play. Like on curve too. Like
I mean, the deck needs draw because you just
yeah.
the high value cards are the cards that come later, and like Sisu or if you decide to play B prep or
didn't-
whatever the case is,
They
they're
didn't ban
uninkable.
ramping. Ramping is still a thing. You still get
Yeah.
Sisu.
Right, but you're gonna be because you're just okay. Well, we're just gonna move to if that's the thing. If you're gonna play a version of the deck where you're not really drawing, like your draw are all cards that replace themselves. So Grammatala or How Far I'll Go, something like that. You're just, I think then you're making like green steel overpowered, or maybe it's not overpowered, but you just can't play red blue then because you're gonna run out of cards. You are like you
But-
just want replacing itself one time is not enough for you to recoup. Like every time red blue lost to, or every time it was able to like beat green steel, it was either one green steel just didn't have the discard, or red blue just got in a position where like they could chill and play Hiram and just draw unlimited cards, so like discard didn't matter at all. But they're not at a point where they can do that now unless they play like workshop, which means
Workshop.
you're moving towards an item deck, which maybe that's good, but we already kind of tested it in this last meta, and like purple steel just completely demolishes that.
Yeah,
If you
bench
play a
is kinda
more
crazy.
yeah, if you play a more like aggro oriented green steel, kind of like last set where it was like Curse Merfolk heavy and stuff, you're gonna demolish that deck. So
mean,
it's just gonna become
Hiram-
like play if red blue is really that strong and it's going towards Maurice
is.
Workshop and items, then it's just gonna be play like aggro. That's what
I don't think it's gonna go towards items like that, like not heavy at all. I just feel like every time Green Steel lost is because of Sisu. Like every time the red
Yeah,
blue
but they
player,
had a
every time the red blue player didn't find Hiram,
Mm-hmm.
right? They were like top decking and then
Mhm.
inking every turn with like Stone Dragon or
Yep.
Fishbone Quill if they have it.
Okay.
They top deck Sisu, and then from
Mhm.
there they snowball from there because, right? I think the problem is that Green Steel isn't fast enough to beat red blue. That
No,
was
but
that was
this-
initially the problem.
The snowball.
But now, like, yeah, sure, you're not gonna see more cards, but you still play 4 Sisus in the deck. You still play ramp in the deck. You still
Yep.
play popsicles in the deck.
Mhm.
I mean, you might replace even Hiram for like a Maurice, the red Maurice. I doubt it because that's kind of weak. But the powerful cards that red blue plays that beats green steel are still there. It didn't cripple blue steel or blue red from playing its game. It just got nerfed to a point where it doesn't have that super duper advantage anymore. Because Hiram wasn't needed, or I'm sorry,
No, you're right.
Hiram is that's true too. I'm not gonna retract from that actually. Hiram was not needed. Hiram was a really
Was the win more?
strong
Nah,
card.
I don't. But I have.
But we
to
were just
disagree.
now.
There's
Now
no
we're
way.
conditioned though that Hiram is. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been playing Hiram.
Because it makes
now
it
in our head it's
worse in
like-
every matchup essentially, except for like Hiram was not like the card that I don't know how to explain it, because there's two ways you play Hiram. It's either one, let's say you're playing like the mirror or you're playing blue steel, like you're playing against another deck that's taking its time to get where it's going and is like a long game. And even in the mirror match, a lot of times you don't play the Hiram right away just because you
Yeah.
know obviously there's brawl, there's
removed,
Sisu.
yeah.
But even in like Sapphire, but you play it on 5 usually. Like you'll play it on 5.
Sure.
And against Blue Steel, you can play it on, or not on 5, but you play it like right away. You can play it
on
right
3,
away.
for sure.
And so you're already like ramping up the draw 2. So at first you're replacing itself +1. every turn after that, it's
I
a
get that.
+2 every single time.
I get that.
And then against aggro decks, you're not playing it like at all. But what
Yeah.
it is that it rebounds you. So you're playing like your little Sisu to hopefully shift into big Sisu, or you're just playing like body threats like Tala, things like that, which do replace itself, which is good. But they're also board threats because that's your win condition early on is like you
What?
need to clear the board. But then
Okay.
Hiram is what gets you to the end, because if you don't, in a lot of cases, if you don't have the Hiram, like you're gonna hit like a stalemate or like a standstill, I should say.
But
not
Hiram
stalemate.
isn't the only reason you get to the end. You have plenty of ways to get there.
No, it's not the only way, but like if you don't replace it with something as efficient or like that can draw you consistently, that's what got
Visions?
you. That's what got you back into games, because there's a lot like you're
Sure.
okay. The one example you gave, like
Sisu
you play
gets you back in
you're
games
top
too.
decking, right, and you top deck Sisu.
Yeah.
You're in let's say in green steel,
Sure.
you have multiple ways to get rid of Sisu, or like in any other deck, as long as you haven't also ran out of cards in your hand, you're gonna just keep refilling your board too, and that requires
Keep refilling your board.
yeah, and that's going to require red blue to keep finding answers, which was a lot easier when you top decked Sisu, cleared the board, top deck Popsicle into Hiram, and then the game's over pretty much, because you're just going to find all the answers. But you don't have that ability anymore. So now your win condition when you're down like 15-2 and you need to get back into the game is like
Visions.
top deck
Visions.
Sisu, top deck. Okay, cool. Visions.
Because Hiram,
Visions get another
Hiram,
Sisu.
what was Hiram looking for?
What?
What was Hiram initially looking for during those times where like, I need to get a card here? What was Hiram looking for?
It's not about looking. It's about like filling your hand. So now every turn you have +3 because you're drawing and then Hiram. So you're getting +3.
Yeah, it's a win
so
more.
It's not a win more because
That's
a win.
literally said that. You just plus 3.
No, but that has nothing. Win more means like you're playing a card that's just like you already won the game, but it's just getting you there faster. Like it's just another win condition
'cause you
on
don't
top
need it.
of what the deck's already doing.
Yep.
But Hiram isn't that. Hiram's not a win more card. It's a keep you in the game, give you a hand, make sure you still can pull your threats, which Vision can do, but it's a replacement card. It's not drawing you. It's like Tala.
Quest for 3.
Yeah, but these are all replacement. You're only getting one
that
card.
gets you to the outs, which is what the deck needs. Hiram got you closer to the outs, and there was no efficient way to get rid of Hiram. That's why you got really close to the outs,
But you
right?
can,
But
like-
now you can just what happens now is like it gets you slower to your outs, but you still play the outs, and there's still ways for you to get to the outs. So your game plan as a deck is just to ramp to get to the big boys, reset the
ahead.
board, and quest for 6.
And all this time, okay. In my particular, like
Is that not the
Am
plan
I-
of Red Blue?
that's the plan of red blue.
Right.
But in my particular example too is that like it's just discard just runs rampant then, because like
That's fine. Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying that this card doesn't run rampant or that this card is a worse than what it is now. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is like, I think a lot of people are saying that red blue is worse now into a lot of the decks. I feel like that's not the case because the deck still, like it lost. It came from like how I look at it. If it is that if we have a graph or like a bar thing, right, that sets the power level. Red blue came from like S tier to like A alongside everyone else. Now we're all playing a leveled playing field versus red blue had this one card that just so obnoxious that you couldn't out because you're playing steel. That's how I think. Whether or not I'm wrong or right, I feel like that's how I would view the meta. Like it's not. I don't think red blue got worse. I feel like red blue's just now a balanced deck,
You
which
know-
is supposed to be.
how badly Santi wishes he had Hiram right now. Do you realize?
Not even close.
that?
Yeah, I mean, I get Hiram for sure. Yeah, for sure. He already he already has the outs. He already has the outs. And I get it. Like he has
he has one
he has
card in
one
hand.
card,
He's got to
right.
pray that he
Now-
finds items.
now this is what the deck's supposed to be. This is what decks are.
Fair.
They're fair. this is what Ember Steel looks like in the end game. You're top decking your freaking Ariel to find a whole new world, to find 7 more cards. You're top decking Rapunzel, right? Like that was the whole point. Like purple steel.
Fair.
Yeah. and
Also,
then-
they don't play B
like,
prep.
and
Also, it's a
dude,
red.
And now this match is way worse for it.
Okay, but it's red blue though. I mean red purple. which is an already bad matchup
Okay,
for
so
this deck.
it's really bad against red purple.
With or
now.
without Hiram,
It's even worse. It's worse against lemon lime discard. Any
Sure.
discard, it's worse against now. And almost with like discard has to miss. And if you're playing lemon lime, you're not missing. But if you're playing green steel, it can miss. But that's kind of like where
I wish
you're
you
at.
guys could see this game.
And
Like
and
how much is like it's the same state.
it's gonna still be good against like amber steel because in amber steel you could just play coil on
It's in the
2 and
same state.
remove after.
That's what I'm trying to say.
like-
So what I'm trying to say, right, initially, is that red blue is not like way worse. Like like it's not like, oh my god, like this deck's trash now. Blue steel is like way worse. It's not. This matchup has always been bad.
Well,
It's just always been bad,
okay.
with or without Hiram.
So do you think it would have been more fair to just ban popsicle?
That's what I'm saying. So I really don't think any card needed to be banned. In my honest,
I know you
opinion.
don't, but they did. So like, do you think it would have made it more
No.
fair if it was just popsicle?
No,
So you think Hiram over popsicle, but you were preaching popsicle before.
I was.
Yep.
Over
So what
those
changed your mind?
over those two, Hiram versus Popsicle.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it is Popsicle, right?
I think that's more fair because like you want when you're banning like I don't like you said
Banning
I do agree that nothing was really worth a ban. I just think this particular meta was very poor in how what they gave to blue and like
Just
almost
game
strictly
design.
gave
Yeah.
it to blue.
It's just game design. Yep.
Um,
Or card
but
design, actually.
I think in order to hit a ban, if you're banning something to the point, it's almost kind of like what Yu-Gi-Oh does, right? You're banning something to the point to completely make one deck unplayable, and then like you're either lifting bans from other cards, making them limited, semi-limited, or it's because you're introducing a new set, so you want people to buy the new cards and to like use the new decks. Like that's their kind of strategy, right? Of banning something into the ground. But I think if
They
you
want
want
you to buy a new product.
right, I
That's
think
what
that's what
Ravensburger is
Yu-Gi-Oh
doing
did.
here.
You think that's what? I don't know if that's. What's
They
the
were
They
ban
like,
want
on
you
that?
to
they
buy
bought-
Scrooges. They want you to
They
buy
bought the
Safe
foils.
Cause, Thomas.
Well,
They're like,
Thomas
they
were
bought the
already gonna be
foils.
bought.
They're like, yep, they bought them already. Up, put that shit
But
down.
you got to think about this too. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a little different because Yu-Gi-Oh, right? They come out with sets that have archetypes that are either improving already previous archetypes or they're like brand new, right?
It's
that they want you
usually
to buy,
brand new. It's usually brand new. Yeah.
right? Like right now, like they get no. It's not like Ravensburger profits off of the aftermarket. They're not getting paid like 20% of every Tamatoa that gets
Right.
bought off of TCG. So I don't think that's the point. But I think they're missing the mark here and banning it because they're banning something. In my opinion, we'll see how it goes. And someone's gonna create a red blue that's like fine. It is what it is.
It's the
But
same
it
deck.
almost like is making every way I think about it, it's just making it way worse. Like not unplayable, but like way worse. And I don't know if that if they ban. My point is if they ban Popsicle over Hiram, like it's still playable. Like Hiram is something they need in order to continue like progressing the game.
Need?
Now they just got to play like
I don't know if it's
unconventional tool
need.
or something.
I don't know if it's need, right? That's what I'm saying.
Or
I feel like
Vitalosphere
I
or
feel
Ice
like
Block,
I feel like we're
which-
in the world where like we're just so accustomed to Hiram being the draw power that we can't imagine this deck without Hiram. I feel like I personally feel like in terms of I don't play red blue.
Yeah.
Right. I've never played red blue. I play against red blue a lot because this team unfortunately is a red blue is a red blue team in Chicago. Is
It's
like
the best testing in the world.
I
Still,
do.
still folds. to
Still
the same
folds.
people.
But like my thing is like me as an Amber Steel player a lot of times or Sapphire Steel player before this set 7,
Yeah.
my deck was fair because when you CC'd me, I'm out of gas at that point. I gotta like pray that you don't have the next CC. Like there was never a point where I'm like, damn, this Hiram is a problem for me.
Mhm.
It was always like, damn, if I give you 7 more cards, will you draw into a Sisu or P prep or not? Right? That's usually the problem. It wasn't like Hiram was a problem.
playing
I
that
feel
card?
like,
No,
but I
what-
feel like, oh my god. Ooh.
I mean, so from an Amber Steel perspective, I think it gets better, but I still think that's
It's the same.
unfavorable.
It's the
no,
same,
it's
yeah.
not the same because
It's the same. I'm saying it's the same because of the cards that I lose to as an Amber Steel player is still in the game.
Sure.
You're not drawing it a
Sure.
turn later. You're not
Yeah.
drawing it a turn
right.
earlier. It's the same cards. It's in your deck, and you're gonna draw it, and you're gonna
Sure.
play it by turn 8.
Yeah.
And that's how I lose.
And Hiram, I mean, it draws you more cards, but then that just puts you more into a range of potentially getting a whole new world. So I understand that point of view. I guess my perspective coming from it is it puts red blue, so it puts Amber Steel in the position that you put other decks in, or that Amber
Oh,
Steel is in when
We're
playing
checking other decks for sure.
like green steel,
Yeah.
red purple. Like right now, I think like the whole New World play is he has 2 cards in hand. If I hold New World, like I'm giving him a full grip. Is it more beneficial for me to give them a full grip and to get a full 7 cards myself, or do I play from where I'm at right now and make them like find the resources themselves? I think it puts Amber Steel more in a position like that against Red Blue now, because it's like, well, Red Blue can just draw themselves if they really want to with Hiram, and you don't have an out for it. Whereas,
Or they could just visions into it, or
yeah.
one
I
brain
mean,
ahead. Or was that one step?
now
One
it's
step ahead?
beneficial for you
What's
because
that?
all of their stuff is filtering. It's not Hiram draws you 2, but you're not choosing the card. You play Vision, you choose exactly what you want. Now you whole New World exactly what they decided to do. I remember way back before like this set or anything, there was like I was playing Hamza actually, and he had filtered like 4 cards in a turn, and I whole New Worlded him, and he was just like, "You just killed my game plan." Because it's like, so now you're set up in a position where that's where Red Blue's going. It's like
Right.
everything is just based on filtering and them selecting what card's best for them in that position, and they're not like Hiraming taking 2 cards. They're putting either 1 card on the bottom or 4 cards on the bottom, or 1 card in their ink and keeping 1, so they lose that card forever. Where Hiram was like, oh, you had 2 cards that you were going to have to choose from with Grammatella that you wanted both. Well, now you have both of them in your hand.
Well,
And
in terms of filtering, right? Like you discard all the cards that you filtered. It's kind of the same with Hiram. Like you drew 2, and those 2 cards were they out, and then you hold and rolled it. It's the same thing. In terms of
yeah.
in terms of what cards you get rid of their hand, or how much
Right.
advantage they could get out of, I guess, with or without
yeah,
Hiram, right? My initial argument with Hiram is that, for sure. I mean, let's not get this wrong. Hiram is definitely a strong card, and Hiram is definitely a problematic card. Me as a steel player, I've never in my life outed that card with 1 card.
sure.
Never in my entire life.
Hiram?
Yes.
You've never
there's-
had 6 on board and
I've never. No.
and
Never
strength.
Little Caesar?
No.
Brawl?
What's
Whoa. Crazy.
Brawl? What's that? Is Brawl the red card that people play?
Red cards?
So I've never, but like I just feel like right now, I want to give this format probably like 2 more weeks until Red Blue figures out a different game plan. I'm pretty sure Red Blue right now is gonna look like such like the worst deck ever because everyone's saying Scramble.
No, sir.
I think everyone's in
Give me this
Scramble right
weekend.
now. I feel like a lot of people are gonna stick to what they know right now, right? Which is like it's easy to move on from like Hiram to like a different powerful card, which is I guess Scrooge, right? Is what people are gonna be playing. And what's that item? Maurice's Workshop. Those are like the most obvious, right? Those are the most obvious cards. Draw a card, add an item, right? That makes sense. But I don't know if I honestly believe don't think that's the answer. I
you-
could be wrong too,
Do you
honestly.
think Brawl gets worse?
I think Brawl gets worse for sure. I think Brawl is the cuttable card here, and any red decks for sure.
No.
Oh well, it could be.
Diablo. I think
Yeah.
might be
Never
coming
mind.
through
Diablo's
strong.
on the rise, you can't cut
Just replacing one reason to play it for another.
I mean, don't they just play like 4 Caesars anyways, the small one?
Yeah.
So against
but I
Green
mean,
Seal, don't you just go Sapphire Coil and 2 pass, and then your Diablo Undercove just dead?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I mean that's again like that's another strategy, right? So like, you can discard my hand, your Diablo's dead. Like I'm gonna draw into it. It's there's a lot of ways. I'm not saying like it's Red Blue is definitely now a fair deck. Like I actually like Red Blue now because it's like it doesn't have like those unfair cards that you just can't deal with. Like Sisu
Like
is
what?
Sisu is an unfair card, but
Like
you can
what?
deal with Sisu. Hiram.
Oh, so that's an unfair card.
It definitely it's an unfair card, but
Oh.
it wasn't the reason Red Blue like it's not a need. You know what I'm saying? It's a card that definitely like puts your deck over the top. But like cards like Sisu, right? Sisu is an unfair card. Sapphire Coil is an unfair card,
Mhm.
but you can deal with those cards.
100%.
You can deal with those cards. There's such a lot of efficient ways. I think Steel needs like a 1-drop song item still, or 1-drop song that pops an item still. But that's just I'm just greedy like that. But
Sure.
Ben just not good enough. I feel like it needs to be like
Aladdin.
Hideaway or Aladdin, I guess, because that's like a every turn type scenario.
Yeah, no shot. Aladdin.
I mean, it's not. It's not. I mean, it's possible if everyone's playing like the item version
You're gonna play the
in
one drop
workshop.
to
It's
shift.
like right.
Okay. What about Fortisphere? What do you think?
Yeah, that should not have happened.
Yeah, that's weird, right? Like
That's a
the
weird card.
only
It's a
reason they
weird hit.
did it was because they don't feel like steel is an item,
Or it's not supposed to be an item
which is weird.
centric. Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, I mean, why are you putting a certain color into like a bubble, where like other
Right.
cards can't be that thing?
Right.
Because it's like you
Amber
look at any,
Amber Seal items.
right. I mean, we've been playing One Piece a bit in the off season, right? Getting into that. There's several different versions of a color. Like that color doesn't have to be like if you're playing red, it doesn't have to just be Shanks, right?
True.
Like it could be what is
Right.
it, Zoro is the
Zoro,
other
yeah.
red or something. Or it could be a Rush as opposed to like Control-y.
Right.
And so you saying like, oh well, this card is being banned because we don't
Yeah.
see it fit
That
in
does not
this
make sense.
color is really,
Like,
really,
The
really.
contrast, the contrast between Hiram getting hit and
Yeah.
Fortisphere being
It's
hit
like
is so off. I'm
something
like,
that's
huh?
like extremely understandable. to
Yeah,
not
and the
at
other
all.
one's like, wait, what? This card got hit?
just because we feel like it.
Yeah,
That's
they're
pretty
like,
much what it
oh,
is.
that's not an item centric deck. So
Why can't we have an Oswald blue steel and a Control Cogsworth
Right.
blue steel live in the
that
same
build
world?
sucks anyways? So like, why just let that live? Like, have
not a-
casual players like play the Oswald build. Like,
They can both be good, even if they were both good. It doesn't matter. Like it. Why
that's true
can't
too.
they live together?
Right.
Like
It's not like as oppressive. Like, it's not like we don't have outs to Tama, Dime, or any other items. We have outs to those.
yeah, it
Efficient outs to those too.
and it actually makes like blue steel
Playable.
more play. Yeah, exactly. Like now, I don't even think it's playable.
I don't think
Only one item that
you know what's so funny? I feel like on their end, I feel like they're looking at it as like, I don't know how the internal testing works, Ravensburger, but my opinion is that when this meta started and everyone was on blue steel item, I already knew it was gonna get cooked by red blue eventually
Mhm.
because red, right? Because
Yeah.
red just cooks sapphire steel in history.
Right.
So I knew that the flip was gonna happen eventually. I just don't know what justified the sapphire steel item list to get hit when red blue is the better item deck anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't even play Fortisphere. So like how did I don't know. I feel like what it is, my opinion about sapphire steel as a deck is like it can't be a Kiwi only deck.
Yeah.
It's the only one we see. You think there's
I
gonna
mean,
be a
it's
whole
the
new world?
only one that we will see now.
The
think
first
so.
card I
Well,
thought about
actually-
was a whole new world. The first card I was like, all right, we got Thomas, we got items, we can put him in the grave, I guess. But like even then, it's so hard to justify playing Bell in that deck if there's only like Popsicle. It's
And
the
now,
same
like-
reason Red Blue doesn't play Bell, right? Because it's not consistent one drop they can play
Yeah.
with, right? That's the whole thing.
And like Ariel wasn't even played in every blue steel deck. I thought
Right.
in this set it was actually
Gonna be
positioned
more.
really well.
That is true.
But now it's like dead. It's
Talking
dead.
about the who's the collector?
Yeah.
Right.
Because like now Red Blue's
Or
gonna
treasure
go,
collector.
Red Blue's gonna increase the amount of items that they play. So now blue steel has an even worse chance.
That deck is not real anymore.
Yeah.
It's
It wasn't
crazy.
even. I don't even think it was positioned like great. It was a gatekeeper for sure, Sapphire Steel. But I don't think it was like oh my god, like now we just like like we just dominate every like it was losing to like
let me
Dogro
like hang on. Now I gotta
or,
go.
Churna Dogs.
Right.
Losing to Dogro, like what?
Yeah.
It was
I don't
losing to
know.
Amber Steel songs. Sapphire Steel, bro. With like with this much support to it with Bell, Scrooge, and Tama, it was losing to those cards, to those decks. So I don't even think it was crazy. It was, if
Yeah.
anything, it was a balanced deck. That's what a
Yeah.
balanced deck looked like. It falls like it has one strategy. If it falls off, if you counter that strategy and you break it apart turn per
Yeah.
turn per turn, it's dead.
And you know what really interested me was that Zan came out with a deck that he won that played Nottingham.
Oh, the blue guy, the
yeah,
uninkable.
the quest for 4.
Where did I
9-drop.
see that card?
He took it to like a 5K and he won the event and he played it and he said it was really good. Like what he was really good. Sheriff of
I saw
Nottingham.
someone. Oh, JDZ was playing it.
Yeah, and now this
Right, dude. Imagine Nottingham in this format. It'd be fun. What is he? 5'5", 6'6"?
He's a 5'9".
5'9", brother.
5'9" that quests for 4.
4.
You play one less for every item you
I'd
have
be
on in play
yes.
or whatever. Something
I'd be
like
so down to play that card, but now I can't even play it.
that. Now it's not even worth trying.
Not in Sapphire Steel, at least. I may be here, but
Yeah.
it's not worth it here. But Jesus Christ,
Yeah, so that's
Sapphire
super.
Steel, man, that's so sad. I'm actually sad because Sapphire Steel has been my number 2 deck since set 2, and I've been trying to like revive it every meta.
Set, right? Just
Every
always trying-
set, yeah. I stopped trying at set 5 and set 6 because I'm like,
Yeah,
Daisy's
red,
a
blue.
card. No, I was like,
Oh,
actually, it
well,
was
yeah.
Daisy, and I'm like, that's it, that's GG. And now I can't even rely on on Bell anymore. Imagine keeping a Bell and you just in
And then,
you
yeah.
just did it in Popsicle. You're just like lose on deck. You're like, all right. Now talk about now if we're talking about what you were talking about in terms of like power level going down, that's where I think you should talk about Blue Steel in that way. Because Blue Steel definitely lost like a whole like right part of its body.
Mhm.
It's just two-face, just split in the middle, just gone. I feel like if anything, if we were gonna talk about like a deck that like now is like shittier, definitely it's just Blue Steel. I don't think Red Blue is anywhere close to what Blue Steel has endured. And it's, dude, just the fact that it's like collateral to death, that's crazy to me. Collateral to death, Blue Steel. That's what pisses me off. And that's why I keep saying that I think we deserve a brand new meta. Just scratch all the things that we know. That's what I think.
Well, then just do rotation.
Right.
I want to see a
That's
ban.
okay. That's what I'm saying, right? That's why in my head I'm like, okay, if you're gonna ban a random Fortisphere for whatever reason, you might as well hit all the rest of the cards that like super playable, that makes the deck like super playable. Like ban a whole new world, just hit it. So like you're not looking for, I don't know, you're not in a whole new world deck anymore. I guess you're just Chernobog's deck with Perdita, whatever. Your Mufasa deck, whatever.
I guess you could think of this in this kind of sense. Then I just thought about it. That maybe makes a case for banning banning Hiram was correct over banning like Popsicle or something, is because think of it as if there was rotation, and let's say you rotated out Hiram, and Fortisphere was still in the meta. Like, how strong is it really?
What is?
Fortisphere. It's good because it draws you a card. The bodyguard thing is cool, but like without Hiram, how strong is it really? Right? Fortisphere. Let's say. So yeah, that's good.
Happy as a clan, baby.
Yeah, that's good, but it's
Forget
not
about this
like
card.
I don't think there's any.
This card
any
draws
s-
two.
Yeah, I don't think there's any sense where you say like it deserves to be banned because Tamatoa. Like, it brings it back, sure, but you also have to pay one to banish it versus like Popsicle. But Popsicle would get rotated out with Hiram anyway because it's the same set.
Right.
But now think of it in like
Is it
reverse.
40? Okay, no, it's not.
Think of it in like reverse, right? Let's say Fortisphere was rotated out, but Hiram was still in. Like, Hiram would still be in the same spot. Like, it's still
But
just as good.
But you can't rotate Fortisphere before Hiram because Fortisphere was after.
No, I
Is
know.
that what
I'm
you're
just saying in a world.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying in a world where Flaversham is still in the rotation and Fortisphere is not, like, there's still Flaversham's still gonna have like that premium value and everyone's still gonna play it. Like, Fortisphere's not gonna be played almost like at all unless you build. I don't even know.
I don't know. There's a world where it's Blue Steel item or like not
Like,
even item.
there could be, yeah.
As long as Tom is
well, like
alive, I
one
feel like
deck.
they're always. Yeah.
whereas
which is, I
like
think-
Hiram is still played in every blue pretty much.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's still a problem because like you replace Fortisphere, but like you still have Popsicle, and then you just have other one drop items that is worth playing because you have Hiram. I don't know. So
You think?
I guess
My
see-
question is: do you think if we like bitch enough about it, because we did bitch about Hiram a lot of the times,
That's what we're good at.
Not me,
right?
not
But
me, I
do you
didn't do
think
that.
if we bitch
At least
about
the
like,
Lorcana community.
if you think we bitch about Fortisphere not like being banned, you think they're gonna bring it back ASAP? They can't go back on that shit, right?
No, yeah, they
They
can't. Go
can't. They have to be firm with it, right? Even though they're like, yeah, we fucked up.
back. Firm.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you, dude. I
You think
you
so?
gotta. No, I think in everything in my life, I'm a very accountable person though. I think in any situation,
Like
it's
an
right to
oopsies.
it's right to be accountable. Like if it's really that bad to
Uh,
where everyone's telling you it's a bad,
I can't.
like you hold yourself accountable and you just go, look, we thought this was the correct
Because
decision.
then they look weak, right? If they just
no,
listen
no,
to that, you don't think so?
no, I don't think so.
As a company, as a game designer, you're
If
not
you-
even
if
you're
you
not
tr-
even sure that it's Fortisphere.
No,
you get
if
what I'm
you
saying?
if you truly
you
believe,
didn't even know it was Fortisphere as a game designer. You didn't even know that, really? Like that's the game I'm playing. That the people that designs the cards doesn't even know that that's the problem.
didn't they get
That's just
DeCandio?
like a
Yeah,
Where
this
was
is all
he at in all
DeCandio's
this?
fault.
Where
nah.
was
It's
he in all
probably
this?
hey. You know what?
Yeah, you know what? He's an
Amber.
Amber Steel player.
He is an Amber Steel player.
He's
He
like
said,
he's like no. Actually,
someone
here we
make
go.
a
Hey,
meme
actually
right
no.
if I have to Zeus and let the Storm Rage on this Hiram, bro.
Someone make a meme right now.
They're
Like DeCandio gets brought into the office. First plan of action.
It was
Get
part of
rid
his,
of
in
hand.
his job interview. He's like, I will only take this job if we ban
If we
Hiram.
ban Hiram.
If Hiram gets hit, and they're like, okay, but we got to take another card out. What is it?
We
They're like,
need some,
Fortisphere.
we need like a
Fortisphere.
picture of like someone pointing to like a dry erase board and then just put DeCandio's face on the person and it just say
And
on
then
the
just
dry
Hiram.
erase board like first plan of action. Ban Hiram. Like
this is like a hammer, and then Hiram's like right at the bottom.
yo.
That's funny. Hey,
Or like
make that shit happen.
like when the president comes out like of the White House and there's a whole group of people at the Capitol like right there and like Donald Trump is at the tower, right? Just have like the flag behind him like a X'd out Hiram,
Hiram.
and everyone cheering like.
That's funny. Actually.
But no, so yeah.
When I got
don't-
home today, I thought of like 14 memes that I wanted to
Yes.
do, and I'm like, I ain't got time for that.
I think they can bring back Fortisphere. I don't think that'd be a problem. At the end of the day, like
I think
they're
integrity
still,
wise,
they're
they
still new.
can't. They can't.
It's not that well. That
not-
doesn't have to do
or
with
the-
integrity, but
Right. Could be like, yeah, and then yeah.
but that's where like you could just be. This is firm. Like we're
Nah.
keeping this. Like if you truly believe it. Like I don't think you should just go back on it just because. But if people are mad about it enough, that should allow you to dig deep to be like, is this an actual issue? Is it not? Okay, like it can be unbanned. But
The one thing
Then-
I have to say is people will always complain no matter.
yeah,
what
people are gonna.
happens.
I don't
People don't
care,
want
no
banned
matter.
cards. People
Sure.
don't want limited cards. They don't want
Rotate
rotation.
there, yep.
Is you can't please everybody.
No, you definitely can't please everybody. And so like
Especially not me.
I'm just saying like there are certain situations where you can't. I mean, every single TCG that bans things, unban them if they can be unbanned. So it's like Yu-Gi-Oh literally does that on a quarterly basis.
Yeah, but like those cards were like from like 10 years ago,
It
and
don't
they
matter.
came back.
It don't matter.
I'm just saying. Okay, so you're saying 43 can be bad like 10 years, 10 years from now? That for sure I can see. But
I
like,
think it
but
come
like
back
4
next
weeks
set
from now,
if they
no,
want to.
no, it's too soon. It's too
not.
soon.
It's not though. I think just be accountable. If people complain, it's for a reason. Like I'm not saying like just because people complain, but if people aren't going to complain about, I should say this, a very large group of people aren't going to just complain about something if it's not worth looking into. People are going to complain about everything ever. You could ban fucking whatever.
Diablo.
Ban. Yeah.
Diablo's
Or not
probably-
even Diablo because
that's-
there's probably a large group of people that
yeah,
that
Diablo's
would
probably
agree
the
with that.
second target.
I'm trying
out
to
of
think of like
Fortisphere.
something ban Big Tamatoa. There's
Sure,
gonna be people that
sure,
complain about it,
sure.
but like it's not gonna be a large like no, not Tamatoa. Diablo is a good example. Actually, no.
Right. It's number two. It's number
There's
two.
gonna be a small group of people that are complaining about it,
100%.
but whatever. Like if you really feel like
Over
it's that
Fortisphere,
broken,
bro? Really? You think Fortisphere has more impact
there's no way.
than Diablo?
No. Well, basically my point is like yes, there's always going to be people complaining about
Crazy,
something
man.
regardless,
That's
but there's
crazy.
levels to it. There are levels to it.
Wait, that's the other question actually. Like they sat down and they actually thought that Fortisphere was a bigger problem than any other cards under Hiram.
No. They didn't think
Right?
it was a problem. The problem they thought was that they made a mistake by printing that into steel. They're just gonna like reprint it into blue.
Oh,
That was I know. I
they're
don't.
errata it and make it a blue card if you really wanted it to be. You know what I'm saying?
Think about this too. It wasn't ever since it came out, bro. Dude, ever since it came out, it has not been a problem until this set, which it wasn't even a problem because red blue was
it's
still
not even a
better.
problem. That's what I'm saying, right? So like, if their answer, because I saw like a couple of Discord answers. There was like a question and answer on Discord with Steve Warner. Is that his name?
Yeah.
So he's like the game designer.
Yep.
Maybe. Okay. So
Well, he's a co-designer with Ryan
Right.
Miller. Yeah.
Right. So they had like a question and answer Discord thing chat, And one of the things was that he said was like what we read basically. We're just like
We said it wasn't a part of Steel. Yeah.
I'm like, that's why it got banned.
Yeah. No, it's a bad reasoning. You shouldn't.
It
I don't
got
know.
banned
You
guys.
shouldn't be banned something because it's unique to the color group. I mean,
because we messed up. Like
What's-
that's really what it is.
color?
No,
What color is the item
Items?
smashing color? Item like smashing. What color?
what do you mean?
Like what color
matches
is,
with it?
is
Steel.
no smashing. Like
Smashing.
kills items.
Steel.
Right, but green has item banishers.
They do
So
actually.
what
yeah,
are
they
you
do.
supposed
It has
to
like one.
Are you supposed to ban Wildcat because it banishes
Oh,
items?
that's true. It does have two. Never mind.
Yeah, it's Wildcat as Clarabelle.
That set my heart.
Hey,
Are you
actually, yeah,
supposed to
Clarabelle.
banish those?
That's true.
Because green is discard and like aggro and like
Yeah, I see what-
annoying.
I just understood what you're saying. Okay.
Like yeah, right. So
True.
I don't know. And then you can think of like blue, which kind of has like everything. It has item smashers, Judy hops. It has draw cards. It has ride cards.
Spy removal.
Blue, yeah, let it go or whatever.
Hades.
It has Hades. It has literally everything. So what's their identity? Are you gonna just like you? It's just really weird to me. that you're
Items,
telling me
apparently.
that. Yeah, it's just it's
Well,
really
blue does have like the better items for sure, right?
it-
Blue wins with items.
yeah. I would just
for
say
sure.
that wasn't a great explanation.
It's not a great explanation.
That's exactly why I'm saying like
Yeah, for
this
sure.
this is not like no one's really complaining about Hiram. There are people complaining about it.
Oh,
but
for
they're-
sure, for sure.
But it's like
It's justifiable in a
Fortisphere,
way,
It's
yeah.
like you can justify it.
Hiram for sure.
Fortisphere, if your explanation is just like we printed it in the wrong color,
It's the wrong color.
then
That's so like, huh?
what are we doing?
I actually thought there was like a bigger explanation to that. I actually
Right.
thought because in my head I'm like, what is right? And I
Yeah.
saw that was the explanation. I'm like,
You can look at Bucky and look at Hiram bands, right? And like someone would look at that, and be like, okay, they're a little conservative with their bands. It's not too crazy. And then there's like boom, Fortisphere's
Just a
band. You're like,
random
wait, so they're just
Fortisphere.
going wild with bands.
just
So
a
what
random
the hell?
Fortisphere got hit. I'm like,
Oh my
huh?
god.
And that's where it lies. Where I say like, you might as well ban the whole new world. That's what I'm saying because like, if you're gonna randomly ban cards because whatever action, I just feel like
Mhm.
it might as well be a card that actually has a bigger impact and actually makes you change the way you play specific colors, right? Because that's the intention of that was the intention of getting rid of Fortisphere because they didn't want steel to be just the item decks, so they want steel to be something else,
They were saying like it's funny because
like a diverse.
it almost like contradicted themselves in the same sense.
Right.
If I remember correctly, I would pull it up if it was just like right here, but it was along the lines of like steel's not. We don't want steel to be like item centric. This is paraphrasing. This is not word for word, and I could be off by a little. But it felt like what they were saying is they wanted steel to be like an overall strategic deck.
I saw that, I
overall
saw that.
or like overall. So it's like if it's
like a well-rounded, right.
which then that means kind of like it encompasses
It includes
everything.
steel. I mean, it includes item
That's everything. Then I don't know,
except for items.
but yeah,
I think
I
we're
don't
going around this in like way
yeah,
too much
in circles.
circles for sure.
I think we could definitely move on to the tier list.
I think everyone's definitely. What we can agree on is that Hiram was an okay hit, honestly, but the Fortisphere for sure was not.
like you can argue Hiram. It would be very hard for you to argue Fortisphere.
Fortisphere. Yeah.
All right, let's go to tier list post ban and how we feel.
Let's go.
Beep, 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 beep.
All right, so we got a little. Listen, I couldn't build this out because I don't got
Blurple at
Photoshop
D.
on this one. So they're gonna be all in D list until we decide to move them or keep them there. But
Right.
all right, so we have Blurple. This is all post ban stuff. Blurple didn't really have Hiram because it didn't really. Well, the newest versions people were playing Popsicle, but I don't think people were playing Hiram. I think they were just playing that to play
The bell. Yep.
So I don't think that like just gets worse.
So Hiram didn't even deserve. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. I don't even know. Blurple's good. I think it's one of those decks that's like right there, and when you play against it, it's like never out of the game,
It's never out
but
of
it's
the
really hard for them to close once it gets to a certain point.
Like it had to. Like Blurple needs like 1 or 2 turns.
Yeah.
That makes a huge impact
I
for
think
it to be like, okay, we got this.
Blurple's like I think a perfect example of like mid tier.
Did you transition the thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's like a perfect example of mid tier.
You think so?
I think so. You think it's like below mid? You think it's like C?
No. I think it's in a world where nothing dominates, which I think what this set's gonna be, or whatever mid set this is.
Yeah.
I feel like Blurple is well positioned because nothing is like overwhelmingly better than Blurple, but nothing is also overwhelmingly worse than Blurple. Because purple is
Yeah. So it's a middle ground.
right.
Right?
I don't. Maybe it's in the high B.
Well,
Can we
okay.
do that? Is there anything on the S? I think nothing's on S. Right? Can we agree on nothing's on S?
Wrong.
Really, motherfuckers gonna be like red blue.
Red blue.
Well, so okay. So for right now, I think Blurple is actually the perfect one to start with because I kind of wanted to start with a color combo that we felt was kind of middle. Because then every color combination we go after, we can kind of be like, we think this is better or worse.
How about this? Where do you think Blurple was
No, I
in
think
set
Blurple's
6?
good. I think it's B. I think it's B.
In set 6?
I think it's B right now, which is what this is for.
I know, but like, where do you think Blurple was in set 6?
I don't know. Like
Purple and set 6.
Top of
it was
B.
B tier. Where
it was top
Okay.
of B still.
And nothing's changed. So,
Nothing's changed, it
if
stays
that's,
the
if
same.
that's,
Saying,
if that's
yeah.
the case, that's what I'm saying. Is the point I was trying to make is that if it was B in 6, it didn't get better this set. Therefore, it stays a B. If that's the argument, because it is.
Sure, I'm just post ban because some things could be have
Things
been
change.
good before the ban and now they're bad after ban. I don't know. That's how I'm thinking. So
Well, Sapphire Seal for sure.
Red
we can,
green
we
is
can leave
just
it as
D.
a D.
Sapphire Steel.
green?
Oh no, yeah D
A
right.
D?
That's
Now
D.
that Hiram's gone, I'm kidding.
Yeah right. I think-
red green discard, right? We're talking about discard.
There hasn't even been a discard that's been on display.
There is a discard red green, bro.
There's not. Well, none that anyone.
That was the
played.
only one that made any like
Probably D tier though.
noises.
None that anyone has played. So it's got to be D. There's no red green like at all anywhere.
I'll do it then.
What about green purple?
So
Oh, blue.
all right.
I'll
So
do it
blue
then.
green, I think C. I don't think
Okay.
it's as good as
Okay, actually,
purple.
now that you said that, I do think green blue actually does become worse
Yes.
because red blue isn't the best deck anymore.
And
And I
people are
think-
gonna play more steel decks.
And I think
Which is
red
peak.
blue. I think green blue was actually well positioned into the blue world
Yeah.
and the whole Hiram hand.
Yeah.
But now that that's not a thing anymore, I feel like it actually gets worse. So yeah, I guess C. I agree with C.
I think it's still there's still a playable list there.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah.
Maybe like a Hyro build. Maybe like a you can't kill me and I just get away with the game build.
Amber Sapphire is interesting because I think it'd be easy to just say D immediately.
I think
Same
it's
same
D.
reason because like there's nothing out there. Like, but I
Like
also
red-green.
think like there could be something post ban, just because I think aggro is just really good right now, because of the ban of Hiram. Like, it's just like you're gonna have to keep having enters over and over and over again, and if you ever get to a point where you're like low on hand size and they're able to somehow just keep recouping.
Just do two Sisus anyways, away from winning. I think D. Just because like we don't have a
Well,
sample.
I mean, I think it. Yeah, I still think it's D, but I think it's
Yeah.
interesting. I think someone could come up with something. I think the main problem with like this version is draw.
I think it's you can't clap back that type
Yeah,
situation.
you can't really clap. You
Yeah.
can't either. But
Like
there's other
once-
aggro decks that you can't
like
really.
once they establish a board, there's not a single card in this deck that kind of like swings it back into your favor.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like
Like if
that's
you're
why.
down,
Yeah.
you lost. Pretty
Like if I draw this card, I can turn this back. There's not a single card.
yeah, like once you're kind of like once you're behind, you lose.
Once they like Bell and then Scrooge, you're just like, all right, this game's over.
Yeah. All right, green steel.
Of course, you're gonna put it in an S because
A-
you're
A tier, A tier.
Diablo. Yeah. Let me start with green steel,
Post-ban.
and then I'll leave you with the green steel.
At the
right?
very worst, it's A.
Here's the thing. I played green steel religiously during set 5, I think. Set 5? Whenever Zan topped or won the event. I was a big believer of green steel. The two questions that I post all the time is that why wasn't it played in set 6, right? And I actually think the answer there was printing of Shark. Not that Shark was everywhere. It's the fact that if you played against Red Blue and they had Shark, you probably automatically lost that game. And then Shark usually entices McDuck Manor. which is another problem for just steel in general. And those two in combination is just like I'm just looking at you for like 8 turns, hoping that I find an answer, knowing that I don't have an answer in my deck. But yeah, so that's my two questions. Is like, why didn't it get played in set 6?
Why'd you draw 2?
What did I draw?
Oh, you have double.
Double Maurice.
Ban this card.
Ban this card next. Okay, but so green steel, right? So why wasn't it played in set 6, and why would you play it now, right? So now the thing is that a lot of the item decks that were played, they were playing on curve, which made it that your hand was slow by the time you would play Hiram, which is now gone from the game, right? So now,
I think
is green steel stronger or is green steel the same?
Green Steel's because we haven't seen anything yet.
I mean, you know how the deck
So
works.
based on my
Nothing's really changed
yeah, I
in
know.
terms
I
of
played
list.
it for a while too.
Right?
And-
Like if we were to play a list right now,
well, I'm saying
it'd be whatever you have right now. You wouldn't change anything.
so. What I'm saying is, I think Green Steel is in the best position to be S tier. Like I see all these color combos, and if there was if I had to put one into S tier, only one, I would put Green Steel in there. I didn't hear you.
GG.
GG,
No,
baby.
because like that my whole argument with like these kind of decks going to S, right? Like all of a sudden it's better, right? Is because like what card
I just don't. I can't.
what card made green steel that got added
It's-
to green steel
It's
that
not.
made it better?
It's not about adding. You're asking the wrong question. Hiram's banned. This is a post Hiram ban. Everything on here is about. Nothing's changed for any other deck other than
Right.
Hiram being gone.
Right. Exactly.
No deck got added cards. So that's
Exactly.
so that's not a question to ask. The question to ask is how does the Hiram ban impact this deck?
Right.
It has nothing to do with what has been added to the deck. That's not a real question right now because nothing. It's about the Hiram ban, and I think until we see otherwise, I don't think we could put red blue above green steel right now. I just don't. I don't think you can. It's just
With the
red blue's
list
gonna be slower.
with the list that exists or has existed in history, I could agree with you. But red blue has so much, like, in those two color combinations, there is an unbelievable amount of cards that they could add to change their list if green steel becomes like the biggest deck, right? Because that's just my opinion. The reason why red blue is probably one of the better decks is because of the card pool. It's not because of like, how far I'll go, CC, whatever. It's the card pool that they have, the choices that they have. There's a lot. There is a lot, and they could get there efficiently. I'm not saying that green steel is not S tier material. I'm just saying that green steel has not changed, right? And Hiram for sure is gone, but I don't think red blue is not equipped enough to also change and beat green steel if green steel does become like a bigger problem.
I think it's just if this was a tier list of just like put the decks based on or like rank the decks based on the matchup against red blue, I would maybe even put lemon lime and ruby amethyst above it too.
100%.
And
Which I think are
but
the
that's not
better
what
decks.
which is not what this is. This is like everything. So I just think green steel, especially having like the P on its side, it's just more beneficial.
It's been having P on its side.
Yeah,
It's
I
at,
know,
like,
but I'm
5.
saying it's just beneficial
Of course, yeah, for sure.
because I don't think green steel is as bad as it looked based on results from this set. I just think that it's hard to play. It's hard to play like green steel when Diablo is. It's not the only way to win, but it's a very important piece to that puzzle.
Sure.
And you're playing against a whole sea of Sapphire Steel that has just a million ways to get rid of Diablo. So it just didn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, you saw green steel do okay. Like it placed 5th, in a big event. It did good, but it was just far less represented just because of the straight fact that Sapphire Steel was so good at that point. And you had Bell that could. Now you had a second Cinderella in a deck that was actually better and played more. That could sing a song to just kill Diablo right away. So now it's in a position where that's not really a thing. Like you can play the bell, but like you mentioned earlier, I believe you mentioned earlier on
Not
the
playing Bell.
podcast.
I'm not playing Bell.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, what deck is playing Bell?
Yep.
Like, because if you're really playing Bell, like you're getting rid of the item. You're like getting rid of two cards.
Sell those cards right
You're
away,
running out of
please.
cards, which is better for discard.
Please let me
Anyone,
buy your foils.
please. So sell those
Yeah.
foils. That's
I know. I
that's
just
the-
got a.
that
all
is the
mine, dude.
highest. That's the highest you could ever get it. Whatever it is right now.
It's so crazy.
Card's
that
gone.
I just got all these foils.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Literally, my Bell foils came in last week, bro.
Yeah, I know.
came in last
luckily, I pulled like 2 foil, and I think someone else here had one.
I'm
that
like,
we traded.
of
Oh, I traded you a
course.
Bell foil. I think for like the Cobra foil
Oh
or
my
something.
god.
Or maybe it was a Sapphire coil we
Hmm?
traded. I don't know. Probably.
Oh, 400%.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
The
all
Sapphire
right.
Seal's
So
the only
let's
deck that played it.
let's close the
Green Steel.
green
yeah.
steel. What tier?
I'm going to A.
It's gotta be A. It's gotta be A.
It's got to be A.
All right.
I respect it. For
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
I'll say A, but like I don't think any of these decks I'm gonna put S tier then.
That's what I'm saying.
That's wrong.
Red blue.
He
is
wants to
not
put Green
S
Steel
tier.
on S. You want to put Red Blue. I'll put Amber Steel on S, motherfuckers.
All right, so we're on Ruby Am, which
Hey,
I
he's
think
on to something.
now is A.
No, let's go over Ruby Emerald.
We already did.
No, we
Oh, we
did.
already
We
did
did.
that?
These
Oh,
are
okay,
D,
fair
baby.
These are these.
I didn't pay
These
attention.
are-
That's crazy.
Why you changed?
No,
Yeah,
no,
he's
no,
like,
no.
that's the
You're
real
not D
Discord
for
deck.
you?
Hey, it could be the real Discord deck.
No.
He's like,
It could be the real Discord
but
deck.
all right, so Ruby
No more
Amethyst
Hirams,
Ruby
right?
Amethyst.
is A now. I think post ban. I think it would. I would have put it in B before, but I think it's A.
I think it was A then because of the representation of Red Blue. But now it's like, since everyone's saying it's like Red Blue's not a, like, I guess deck
It's the
anymore.
lower A, I believe.
I think it's
I think it's A.
I think it's an A
now.
for
I
sure.
think every other deck is
Yeah.
above it because it's just
Yeah, for
everyone's
sure.
onto the same tricks
For sure.
of the deck.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
And-
like we saw what it can do, like it can do good, and like people were just writing it off, but a lot of it had to do with just like not great pulls
Also, with green,
and
with Diablo being like, I guess more represented, right? Because green's gonna be a thing apparently, according to everyone.
yeah,
and red
brawl is
purple
just even
definitely.
more like is
All-
just
all
even
your-
more still.
Was your brother top with a
Red
list?
cards are still good.
And they
Yep.
were playing Cusco, right? Like the 2-drop Cusco that draws. Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're playing cards like those that draws more cards, then just Diablo just gets better, right? So lower A, I want to say.
All right, so green purple. I think the best example of green purple has been that like Diablo kind of discard version that's going around. I think
Sure.
that's the only
I mean,
one
that's
I've
the only one
really
that's
seen.
alive right now for sure.
I haven't played it or
Artifacts,
played
where you
against
at?
it, but I think C for me.
Ooh.
C.
For me,
That's crazy.
I think it's C for me.
Artifacts will come here. Fly Artifacts right now.
I maybe just have to play it
Green,
and
purple?
get punished by it. Maybe I got to get humbled by it or something. But I just don't. Maybe it's the specific list because I really hate the direction of like it's kind of discard, but kind of not. Like make a decision.
It's,
bro.
no,
What
it's
is
definitely a
it?
discard.
It is, but they
Yeah.
play 2 Prince Johns. They play like 8 total discard actions.
Because they don't need to draw as much as as much as Steel does.
Yeah, they don't. Sure, they don't need to
'Cause
draw,
purple
but they
has the
play like
cards.
8 total discard actions, and maybe they play Lucifer like 2.
Play Lucifer, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Definitely does. I agree with Johnny. It has to like pick a route.
It needs like it needs a more
Like, if
clear
it's gonna-
identity.
Yeah, if he's gonna pick discard, like
Than
I
just
mean,
be
a little bit
discards.
more of discard.
Yeah.
But having the extra Diablo targets, like you have 12 Diablo targets to shift on, like that's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
You could
same
have
amount
16.
of big Diablos.
Yeah,
My-
You
my
could have
problem-
16.
I mean, I guess I do have a problem with finding either one or the other, but like, I don't know. So that you're gonna have far less of a problem with
you
that.
can hold like
Yeah.
shift
The
3
shift,
Diablo
yeah, and
more
then just
consistently
that
now.
that like green
Mold everything
purple
else.
Diablo though is just as bad as the green one. You're just playing it for the shift.
Yeah, that Challenger too is kind of nice.
That
And
Challenger
evasive,
too evasive
crazy.
is nice. Dude, Challenger this is nice.
It's okay. I don't know. I put it in C.
Yeah.
I can't speak too much on it. I'm just going based on completely like
Actually, same.
the deck list that I see. I
Same.
can't see it being better than C.
Same.
All right, Santi, you have a tier to put it in. I mean, it's gonna
really,
be C because it's 2 C's, but
Damn, we
just
got
your,
2 C's
just
here?
your input.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Like I said, it has to just choose an identity. I think traditionally it had a good matchup into Ruby M. So like putting it below Ruby Amethyst probably isn't correct. I want to say it's maybe B tier right next to the
Low B. Like
Sapphire,
super low B, purple.
Amethyst. Yeah.
I
'Cause
actually, you're right.
Anything else that isn't Amethyst, like Ruby,
But that version
like
was
B
also
tier.
far different because like this version plays like more actions and things like that. Where the one you're talking about was straight characters like and just hit swing face. Another big deficit for red purple when playing against it is like green purple at that time were playing the
Aggro.
bonsais, and even some people were playing Pete, which I think was not Pete, Prince Eric, the one that had Ward or whatever, Prince
Philip,
Philip, which I think was the right play. But I think they had more like
the non-reachable stuff.
they had more things that just traded with red what's it called, red purple, which now it's like you said, like we said, it's kind of half and half discard. If it was full on discard, then maybe it would still be pretty good because Ruby Amethyst is pretty historically bad against discard decks. But it's not really that route. It's kind of like a mix. So I don't know how bad it really is against that particular list.
Now that Santi actually mentioned that it can't be lower than red purple because it's better than red purple. I feel like
I just talked about that.
what?
I was literally that's exactly what I was.
That's literally what he
that
just
whole
said.
thing was a
The whole thing?
response.
That
to
whole
Okay,
thing.
okay, but
Imagine listening. That's
Imagine
crazy.
listening. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Can't read, can't listen.
But okay, like compared to blue purple though, blurple, green purple definitely had more showing and more results this set. It's definitely like topped for sure, over other decks. So I don't know if we could put it at C in that sense.
This is
Because Blurple has not, there's no showing of Blurple at all, and it's at B. But then Green Purple, without us knowing anything about Green Purple, specifically, I think just in base of like result wise, I feel like it should be in B.
so now you're changing your answer then.
2 for B, baby.
2 for B, I think.
BB.
Lower B.
All right, it's wrong, but all right.
Yo, that's crazy.
Ruby,
Put down something.
Ruby Steel.
A.
This one's kind of
The
interesting.
Challenger deck? Yo, that
Dude,
unplayable. Worse than Amber Sapphire.
Yo, it could challenge. It could challenge into your Diablo, bro.
No,
Wait.
honestly, this is just a local deck, 100%.
It's a meme deck for sure. It didn't gain or lose anything.
Yeah, they didn't gain
It's
or
the
lose
same deck.
anything.
Yeah.
Next.
I think at worst, Amber Amethyst is B at worst now,
Aggro,
especially
right?
without
Aggro.
Hiram. Yeah.
I think it's a highest C tier here.
I-
Because it always catches
so
you
too.
by surprise, maybe like game 1.
Yeah.
But like in a best of 3 format, since there's no DLCs, like it'll probably just lose
Oh.
to everything.
Yeah.
Especially with the rise of like Steel.
I mean, I guess
Mm,
yeah, the Rise of
that's
Steel. That is true. That is going
Ooh,
to
the
go up.
Rise of
And
Steel.
I do think green.
That's a
but
good
it is better
title.
than Sapphire
That is true because
Emerald. So we can
Green's-
put it above there.
I do really think green.
Yeah, we could put
Steel's
it
gonna
above
come.
green blue. I think. Yeah, get that shit in. Oh.
Oh.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
Figured it out.
I can see that.
Next one.
Next one. S tier, baby.
Lemon
S
lime.
tier, baby.
I think it literally will be a.
S tier.
You think actually
Yes,
for real?
sir.
No, it's not. It
Hundred
can't be.
percent.
It
This
can't
is
be.
okay. This is definitely high A tier. This is above Green Steel and above Ruby M.
It can't be.
I put it here.
In a steel world?
Yeah, man.
In
In
a
the Steel
Steel
world,
world.
bro. Bare necessities, and this is the ultimate discard deck.
Wait, you guys talking lemon lime right now?
but
Lemon line.
Pete.
In a steel world?
Pete, I'm
Steel-
discarding
in a
your whole
Steel-
hand before you even get to 3 ink, bro.
Santi.
You don't know how this deck works, dude.
Clearly, you've never played this deck.
Hey, call,
Well, that's
call
for
You
sure,
forgot
that's
me
for
is
sure.
not a
Middle
one
name.
cost song.
Zan Zaid right here, bro. I'm gonna draw the perfect curve every time. I'm gonna go Diablo, Shift,
You know what's funny about this?
Ursula.
I think it's okay. So Santi.
I
thinks
actually
it's
think it's
top of
it's
A. I
taupe.
think it's middle A.
I think it's low A.
No,
I-
no, no, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
so
here's
that's middle A
where
then.
we're at. Here's where we're at. Here's where I'm at. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna cut this short. The deck that this was good against. This is a matchup. This green yellow is a matchup or meta type of deck. It's not like it's always gonna be thriving at any time of the day. It's not. It's a meta call. It's a matchup type of deck. With Sapphire Steel and Red Blue apparently like not being the best cards decks anymore, what are you hitting? What are we bare necessitating? What are we Ursulaing? What are we like getting out of the cards? Other than the Forgotten Me and Sudden Chill, obviously like a good discard cards, but What else are we getting rid of? Items are not going to be like that anymore, right? Because red blue is going to decrease. I'm pretty sure red blue is going to go from like 33 to like 18%. I'm pretty sure.
What do you
No,
mean?
sir.
Items?
No, red blue representation.
Oh,
It's gonna
Nah,
it's gonna
nah.
go from like
Everyone
33.
still has the deck. They're gonna try to figure it out.
Sure, but it's definitely way less, which makes this deck way less impactful in terms of matchups. That's where I'm looking at. Like this deck is good for sure,
mhm.
but it's very good against decks that has a lot of locations, a lot of items, a lot of non-character decks.
Right.
But if you're looking at the three A's right now, it's not looking good.
So I'm going based on the 3As. And the reason why I put it middle is just because I think it has a favorable matchup against
Red purple?
Ruby Amethyst, but I don't think it's favorable against Green Steel. Like, I think
But why is
Steel-
that?
steel-
Why do you think
I
that?
think
Steel.
at best it's 50-50.
Do you really think it's the steel cards?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
let's say, how
think
do you
at
beat
best
that
it's
deck, right?
50-50.
It's the removal.
Let the Storm Rage on and Strength of Raging Fire, right? I have
Well, ward characters.
off the what
And
exactly?
if I go for a like Diablo, my Diablo just cooks your Diablo.
That's not
Muses.
true because the way you out my Diablo is by going what you call it, Strength or Let the Storm Rage on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have Ursula and Bare Necessities. I'm hitting that card before you're able to sing it. Sure, you.
We're not keeping those cards either. We gotta get it off top.
Hey, your mulligan.
That's usually how
your
it
mulligan
goes,
ain't-
anyways.
You can't control your
keep those
mulligan
cards.
every time. You're gonna draw a
Sure,
song.
I'll
Sure.
trade it and play Shmi. Fuck it. I don't give no fucks.
I don't know. I really think it's above green
I
steel.
think it's at best a 50. So the way I'm thinking about it is I think at best it's a 50-50 here. I think both are definitely better than Ruby M. But I think against the rest of the board, except for maybe the red-blue matchup, I think that may be like the only matchup that I favor Lemon Lime
It
over
lost.
green.
It just lost its
Steel.
best matchup. That's my opinion. That's why it can't be. I'm like, just to troll you guys. I actually really want to go like high B,
No.
just to do that. Like it just lost its best matchups.
What's its best matchups?
The items, the blue decks.
I don't know. It's worse now.
Well,
Those decks are
it's-
worse against it.
Exact.
Yes,
Exactly.
those decks are worse against Lemon Lime, making Lemon Lime better.
No, but like those decks being represented the most makes this deck better, because this deck counters that deck, which means this deck is really good.
No, I'm saying
But
those
now-
decks got worse.
Which makes this deck worse, because it no longer has a best matchup. What is your best matchup in those three?
Out of these three,
Yeah.
it's better than Ruby M.
Yeah, because I can hit your brawls
It's
with Bare Necessity.
it's better than Ruby M for
And
sure.
Cold.
And I think against Green Steel, I really
Uh-huh.
think like pretty
With
much
Pete too? Oh come on!
pretty
I,
much the
I didn't even talk about Pete actually. I thought I forgot about Pete. No,
Yeah.
the pirate Pete, the big guy, the 5/5,
the
the
resist.
6/6.
the resist.
That's actually that's the card I was talking about. My bad. Or supposed to be talking about. This is the cards that I think that we're supposed to be talking about over the 3-cost Pete.
I think the
shift Pete,
resist Pete is better now.
the shift Pete
In this
crushes this
meta.
deck. Crushes this deck.
And I think just Pete's good.
Crushes this
But
deck.
I do think
High B.
Diablo is
High B.
huge.
High B. I'm on
Wait.
high B.
Wait. Shift Pete crushes what deck?
Yellow green. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I see what you're
You
saying.
can't see you go Kita pass.
But you think Ruby M's better than Lemon Lime?
no way.
Only because I think Ruby M probably has a better matchups on things. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not.
Like look at all the colors that are here right now below A. Like don't even think of the other two in A.
Sure.
Every other color, what deck is like better?
Ruby M over Ruby M, as you're saying.
Oh no, what
Or-
deck is
or
better than
green.
Lemon Lime? Other than what like so in A tier, do you agree that do you agree Lemon Lime's better against Ruby M? Do you agree that it's better than Ruby M?
Yes.
Yes. 'Cause
There you go.
Green
Bam.
green traditionally.
All right, and you
beats-
think it's worse than Green Steel?
like
every
infinitely
other-
worse though. It's not like
Okay,
it could
that's-
be if you draw a card. No, it's infinitely
Okay, that's
worse.
fine, but it could be infinitely better than every other deck, and it's still A. But what deck here is it worse against? At post Hiram, everything like
Anything that doesn't have like heavy items and heavy.
none of these decks are better than it, right?
Amber Steel is better than the.
You think Amber Steel is better?
It's not well. An aggressive version can be.
You think any of these four are better? No.
No.
Okay, so it's A.
I don't
And
know.
and it's
I don't know.
A
I don't know if
above
that
Ruby M.
justifies it because we need a meta, right? So once a meta is concluded, I feel like if there's a meta, right? If this is, let's say that's the top 3 meta, right? The A's.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if those two actually survive at all.
I mean, I think just based off of Santi and
Versus
I
Green
answer
Steel.
anyway, it's gonna end up being
For
where,
sure.
where
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
at.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
like,
But mark my words.
I'm just trying to gauge
Low B.
why you're putting where you're putting it.
It's low B. I'm just looking
Low
at
B, you
'cause-
keep
okay,
going
so
down.
here-
First it
here's-
was
lower
first
and
it was
lower.
bottom
Heavy.
A, then it
D
was top
tier,
B, now it's
unplayable.
bottom B.
because now that I
But
think
it's
about
better than all of these and everything here
okay,
except
well, first of all,
maybe Amber
those
Steel.
B and C decks they don't exist. Like those actually are not real. Like
That's
l-
fair.
let's be
You'll see
real.
those more
Let's be real.
locals.
We're gonna yeah, it's true.
But you're
We're
saying
gonna
that
be
it's
real
better
here.
than
Like
all this
the
except
top
for
the top
maybe
the top
Amber
5
Steel.
decks is Amber Steel, Red Blue, Purple Steel, and then Green
We're,
Steel, and then Red
we're gonna
Purple.
go
Right? I'm
over
just saying. Okay,
individual.
we can come back to it, which I'm pretty sure we're not. I'm just saying like in my head, the top 5 decks that will exist, this deck is the worst. In the
Okay.
top 5 decks, yeah. That I mean I could be wrong for sure.
All right. Well, moving on to
Mufasa.
Mufasa.
Ruby Amber.
A D.
D? I was
Yeah.
gonna put it in C.
Nah, this is D.
It's not even playable.
Not even playable. This is a fun deck. Always has been.
I'm thinking. Okay, let me think about the 2 cards that it hits. It's not that bad against the 2 discard decks because you don't play any non-character cards, right? So Mufasa is just better
Mhm.
against the decks that doesn't or that focuses on like I guess bare necessities. You can't bare necessities anime cards. You can't Ursula anime cards. You can only discard some anime cards, but like Mufasa.
So for me,
don't know.
if I were to, if I'm like grading each tier or like like defining each tier, I should say.
Mhm.
Like S tier is obviously like stands off on its own, like nothing.
Ooh,
can beat
right.
it. A is the top tier.
Yeah.
B is like I can
Sneaker?
yeah, like it's like a dark horse. Like I can see it making
Sure.
a top like
Sure.
16 at a big event,
Right.
but I don't really see it winning. But if it did
Right.
win, it wouldn't be the craziest thing. It would be crazy, but it wouldn't be like insane. C is like I could see it squeaking into 16, but if it like won any event or even got like top 2, top 4, I'd be pretty freaking surprised. But it's playable enough to where like I think the right player could squeak it in. And I think D is just like no one could get it. No matter how good you are, you're not going to take this deck and get top 16.
I'll put it at D if that's the case.
That's mine. So you just
If
don't think
that's
it'll
the
take
case.
16? That's just how I define this.
That makes sense.
You could define it
I
differently.
mean,
but-
we could just get it basis off of that because it's like it's easier for us to agree and disagree on things.
Sure. So you think it's D? I put in C. Santi, you
that's
think
fine.
it's D?
Yeah, D.
All right.
SBJ sad as fuck.
I
He's
just
like
think
it's a playable deck. Trust
I
me,
just
bro.
think
I
it
am
could get top
Mufasa's
16 if
my
the right
boy,
person
bro.
played it. I just think
Mufasa is my boy. Trust me.
I'm just
I'll put him
I
at
don't
an
know.
S for just cause.
all right. Blue Steel. It might be D again.
It might be D again, unfortunately. We
Yo,
can go.
Fortisphere.
Oh, you know what? We can go low B because of Kiwi, and I feel like well,
Oh,
here's the
Kiwi.
thing, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, Kiwi.
Yeah, because I feel like people still believe in that deck for some
Okay,
reason.
but
So
Was Ariel a mainstay of Kiwi or was
no.
it just
which
random?
Ariel? 6 drop?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
They don't go above 5.
So it's not normally. So it was performing without Ariel in most like meta.
Oh yeah, for sure. They never played Ariel, so it's mostly like
Oh, okay.
Cogsworth. It's Cogsworth gone to Big gone to something like that. But in the
Yeah.
Kiwi world,
I could see like top of B then.
sure. I
Did
not
it play Hiram? It did.
this set it did. Last set it didn't. It was like a diggy hole deck last set, which what it's
Then
supposed to
maybe
be.
I might put it below
Hmm.
Blurple then. Because Blurple's gonna get way more draw and just like maintain a board.
Poor Blue Steel, man. They're back to set 6, bro.
Such
It
a
is so
pushback.
sad. And set
Dude, this
6
is set
and
3
set 6 was
deck,
like,
bro.
oh my god. Only reason I'm putting it in B is because people are actually playing a lot of Blue Steel Kiwi.
yeah.
Not because I actually think this deck is like really good. I
But
actually
now without Hiram, how does it keep momentum? Like Doc.
I just feel like
right?
traditionally it never
Doc.
played Hiram.
But yeah,
It-
they
it was
weren't
a-
ever
it
like
was a
truly
diggy-diggy.
decided on like Hiram or Doc, so
It was
they
a diggy
just,
diggy hole
just
deck.
solid-
solidified
Doc
Doc.
now.
Yeah.
It's just that Tamato made it that they played the Hiram because they played the items because they played Bell.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
lists didn't even play Tamatoa.
Right,
Right.
right. Just items and Bell. 'Cause that was good enough, right?
So where do you put it, Santi?
I think it might be under green purple.
Kiwi. Think about Kiwi.
Really?
Kiwi? Yeah. Just the other decks do it better now. Like Alice may be like an issue, but like with the rise of purple cards also, like Fox just as soon as it turns sideways,
It's just that a lot of all the steel cards and now like Bell, if you're still playing Bell, just trades with it though. I felt like that was always the issue with Ruby Amethyst was if your play was bounce something with Fox and trade, that's a horrible spot for you.
But now with Kiwi, it's not
Around that.
consistent enough to like run only 4 items and then the 4 bells on top of.
Yeah.
So that's like
Solid.
8 slots they gotta change now.
Yep.
Well,
slots
12
for a lot of
because
decks.
of
yeah.
Fortisphere
Standard.
Ban.
So you're saying C.
I'm
It could actually.
'Cause
You're
I'm, like,
right.
thinking-
I think it's under regular aggro.
Is it better than like green purple or green blue?
Probably not.
I'm thinking about it because
Alice is a big problem.
yeah, but now you're not hitting.
Because who's playing
Hiram.
Scrooge? Who's playing Scrooge?
So no, but you're not hitting Hiram anymore, which means like
Hitting Hiram.
or not like hitting as in giving it ward or whatever. So you're not like protecting it from
No,
that.
it's just a 1/4 ward by herself without any.
yeah, but then like Scrooge
kills her?
McDuck,
the Scrooge, right? The
Fox.
4/4.
Scrooge McDuck, Fox.
Who's playing the 4/4 Scrooge? Red blue, right?
Red
That's
Blue's
it.
gonna play it. No.
That's it. There's no more Sapphire
Okay,
Seal
but
playing it.
did you hear the Fox thing I said 3 times?
Sure.
Yep.
That means you didn't Fox like the. So you're just gonna have Calhoun eat it. That makes sense. Yeah.
Or like by the time it comes on the board and it quests, you have multiple cards. So if you play purple steel,
Because
you have double
everyone's
Calhoun.
everyone's thing was like Pluto Alice, right?
Like Alice is
That's
just
the
not
thing.
gonna
It's
live
Pluto
long
Alice.
enough.
Actually, Pluto Alice. How do you Fox that? Pluto Alice.
That's fine for 1 turn. Pluto has ward.
Pluto, 1 turn. I'm gonna do it every turn.
Okay, if you keep playing Plutos, because someone's gonna have to trade 1 card and then swing into it with something else, and then
Right,
it's
right.
dead. Now you have to keep playing, or you play Chimpo, which
I
guess-
traded 2 cards just for your.
Not
for
traded 2,
right?
traded 1.
Sure. I'm a steel deck, so that one's probably dead too.
So if you can go Alice into the Pluto into Chenpo, then yeah, you might win.
I'm not Chempo.
But
Yeah.
I mean, if you survive long enough
But
to keep
that-
it alive
but
with
that's a good.
Chenpo
that-
again,
That's a tempo gain for you if all they did that turn was out a 5/5 bodyguard, and next turn you just quest for
no, I know that's what I'm saying.
6
Then
again.
If your play is that into Pluto, and then Pluto dies, and then you play Chenpo, like how do you win, or how do you beat it? It's just gonna
turn-
keep questing.
was that
and
turn 5?
Chenpo's gonna kill everything you swing.
If I
into.
go turn 5, I play Cogsworth actually, and I quest with everything. Then what do you do? Right? That's the thing. It could be a thing. I don't
you
know.
could do that too, but I still.
Yeah,
But then
I get what you're saying though.
like
It has to be those
Ariel's
specific
still gonna be
cards.
good, easy kill because by that time you have a decent amount of cards on board to kill it.
Ariel.
Not Ariel, sorry, Alice. You have an easy enough time.
I would put it at B just because of like people like really love this deck, and I think the Alice Pluto is actually scary enough.
It is tough,
Have I ever played Kiwi and it was like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose? Never.
but it just also
But-
hit Fortisphere too.
But because I played Scrooge, so I solved the Alice problem. Right? It's so bad, bro. It's so sad. I'm sad for Blue Steel right now. The Kiwi deck, man.
I just
It was
can't.
okay, and now it's just like maybe
I might
not.
put it above here just because like
I
green blue
agree.
is such a slow deck.
Yeah.
It's like once the Alice is played, like how are you gonna beat it?
You said you're this right? This is where you're at with the Blue Steel Kiwi.
I think this is
Okay,
a good
that
spot.
makes sense. I'd put it at lower B, but this makes sense too. S.
Amber Steel song.
S. The only S in this. Because you guys keep saying S in your
I
deck,
think
even though
this
Green
is
Steel
truly
is
an S
also my
tier deck. Yes.
B.
Nah.
No, never.
It's not a
This is the OG singer deck. This
Dude,
deck.
you have to realize Amber Steel is the gatekeeper.
Yes. Yeah. If it wasn't
Yeah,
red blue,
if
it's
it wasn't
Amber
red blue,
Steel.
it's always Amber Steel. You have to realize that's the world that we live in. Yeah, that like as much as I don't want Amber Steel to be around again, like everywhere, it has to be that way. It's high S.
It's not S.
It's high. No, I'm sorry. It's high A. It's high A for sure. You gotta realize like the only reason red blue is good is because Ember Seal was the best deck. And now that Ember Seal is not being played,
I still think
ran
red blue
around.
is so much better than Amber Steel.
Oh, 100%. That's not a disagreement. It's just like the representation of red blue is definitely lower, which makes Ember Steel
I put
the
it top.
gatekeeper.
I put
Ember
it
Steel's
top
the
of
gatekeeper.
B. I don't think it's specifically like better than it. I think it's a 50-50 against Ruby Am. So at
It's not a
best, I think
50-50.
it's low A.
It crushes red blue or green purple.
Huh?
It crushes green.
Not green purple. Ruby Amethyst.
Ruby Amethyst. It crushes it.
How does it crush it?
The whole new world deck will always be better because it's just you can't interact with our cards. That's the only thing. Like
Alright,
you
fine, here.
can't.
Fine. So I don't know. I think it's 50-50, so I think it's fair. I don't care whether it's here or it's here.
It's better than green steel. Let's be real.
But I don't think it's better than
it's
lemon
better
lime
than-
or green
it's-
steel.
If anything, lemon lime's probably the only problem it has for sure, because lemon lime does have bare necessities, and there's a higher chance of you hitting my songs. But I'm just assuming I'm on steel song too, right? This could be a straight up like diggy deck, and you just can't deal with it because those decks are like they're too slow. And then like the small Pete, right? The 3-drop Pete, the referee,
Mhm.
is actually better in the diggy hole deck because it pushes game. It doesn't just stop you from like singing your song. It stops you from singing a song and you can't deal with my board, and I'm questing for like 8 next turn. Like Pete is bad in like Sapphire Steel because when you Pete the green yellow player, what Red Blue's gonna do on their turn, what Blue Steel's gonna do on their turn is like play a Tamatoa, add 2 items, quest pass. Like that's it. That's the only advantage I get. But in Diggy in Amber Steel aggro, I was already at 12, and then I repeated you, and you can't deal with my board. And on my turn, I'm gonna be at 18 most likely after I repeat you. So Pete is definitely better in an aggro world. So I feel like Pete hurts even more against these decks because of Ember Steel. I'm not saying it's the best deck. I don't think it's the best deck, Ember Steel. I think it's where it's supposed to be. But I feel like Ember Steel was the gatekeeper for the entire, like, the past 7 sets. It's the gatekeeper. Like, if Ember Steel was not a deck, a lot of decks would be rampant. For sure.
Like what?
Like, everything that's in B and C. Like that yellow, the green, the purple yellow, up there, without Amber Steel,
Honest.
up there for sure.
Green
For
steel
sure.
fucks it up.
Green steel. I don't.
Green Steel's not
Especially-
bad.
Bro,
Especially because
playing green steel and then on 2 they go Vanessa. You're falling apart,
You're
man.
No, not at all.
Actually, because that thing sings.
Amber Amethyst?
No,
Green
playing,
Steel. If you're Green Steel and I'm
if
Amber
you're green
Steel,
steel playing against Amber Steel and they drop a Vanessa on you on 2,
you're looking at me for
just
like 4 turns.
scrambling.
There's not a single card
There's
you can
not
turn.
out.
You have
and,
to
like-
Pete on 3, and then play a character after that, assuming I didn't Pete you back.
Exactly, and yeah, just Vanessa being able to just sing any card in their deck
That I pick up
Crazy.
off of Ariel.
off of Ariel too.
I don't have to hold shit.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
don't have to hold things. That's the problem with nothing's living.
And now with Troubadour, now they consistently can drop a dude onto
bless your
that
soul,
things for
Troubadour.
4.
Not playing Troubadour.
Oh yeah, some people might.
and
Not.
what's his name? Miss Bianca.
Bianca 5/5
5/5,
on
dog.
4, yo,
Come on, dog.
kind of
Come on,
crazy.
dog. Come on. You put your card sideways. I'm healing for 3.
Exactly,
For sure,
yep,
for
100%.
sure.
Yeah, you
Alright,
quested
so-
that Pete.
So where are you putting Amber Steel?
Top A tier. Top A tier. This is the S tier deck, but since no one wants to
Damn.
put anything on S tier,
It's not S tier. It's not.
I think it's up there for sure. It's
I
S
think
tier.
S tier is crazy for Amber Steel.
How about
I don't
this?
think-
I'll put it right next to Green Steel. I think they're neck and neck.
it's definitely above. No, it's above. It's above. 100% above.
The only reason I'm not putting it above is because Emerald Amber actually does. I do struggle a lot against Emerald Amber. This card.
Oh, okay. I see what you
That's
mean.
the only
But so
reason.
does Green Steel. Like all this is like a trinity deck, a triangle, right?
Where like they could be
They
interchangeable.
each beat each other.
It's like 50-50.
Yeah, it's all 50-50.
That is true, actually.
Yeah, it's tough.
So honestly, all three of them can be A tier, S tier. I mean,
Just not even.
Nah.
Just,
yeah, I think
Lemon limes in low B, bro.
like any order. It doesn't matter. Like you could put these
No,
in any order.
I don't know about any order.
Fine.
It's definitely not.
Well, not Ruby M. I'm not talking about
No,
that.
no, no,
no,
no. I
these
mean the green yellow. I think falls behind those two for sure. I think.
So
So
are you guys
whatever.
really thinking like Ruby Amethyst is in the same category as these three decks? I don't think so.
I don't think
So
so.
that's
either.
what I'm
Now,
saying.
now,
All-
that- now
all
that we're
three-
looking at this, I don't think so anymore.
All three of these decks should be an S tier, and Ruby M can stay in A.
I don't. Oh, so okay. So
The
practically,
S tier we can
S tier so
Categorize-
strong,
Here's the
though.
thing. Here's the thing.
as
Practically,
DLC decks you will play against. Guaranteed.
okay. DLC decks for sure.
Guaranteed you
I
will
don't think
play
Lemon Lime's gonna
one
be
of these
there.
decks
Yeah.
during Swiss. No doubt.
It's those top two decks for sure.
Three decks.
I think it's the top two. I think Lemon Lime's fake.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
if-
I could
if-
be wrong.
if-
I could be wrong.
If 3 decks are in the same tier, is it really S?
I mean, like, my thing is like I wouldn't
Because
play anything
they
out
all
of
share
those
the
5
same
cards.
card pool almost.
Yeah, they
like
do.
identically.
Identically.
Like all the green cards, both green decks share the same green cards, and both steel decks
But I
dude,
think-
share
those
the same
think
steel
about,
cards.
But
yo,
I
this
think
is
you could
cool.
just
No,
move
no,
this
no.
here.
Let me say something. Let me say something. Amber Steel is the combination of the halves of the other two.
Right,
decks.
right, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's A, like the highest A. It's the highest A.
If you split Amber Steel, they go to those.
I
two
think we could
decks.
just put Ruby M as top B
Yeah.
because I don't know. I mean, obviously,
Okay, fine.
you
Top
disagree,
B.
but
and all right.
I just think S tier's is like set for. That's just my
Red Blue
point
with
of view.
Hiram, right?
Like, we
Red
could
Blue with
put
Hiram.
3 in S tier and it means the same exact thing. Like S.
That's
just, A
Bucky,
just becomes
Bucky and
S.
Diablo.
But that's kind of like what I'm thinking, or like
They're not there.
red blue
They're not
last
there.
set.
Yeah, they're not there.
It's just like
they're not there.
All right, red blue.
A. Yeah, A for sure.
So bottom of A, but below the 3.
Can't be bottom because Amber Steel is in that category.
It's this isn't a list
Well, here's the thing.
about
Here's
like
the thing.
you
No,
have
no, no,
one
no, no,
really
no.
good matchup.
No,
This
it's not. It's not.
this
It's
is
not.
everything.
It's not. It is. It is. That's why. That's why I put Amber Emerald. And I put it in high B, but in this
Amber
in this
Emerald,
list,
oh.
yeah, Lemon Lime.
Well, I think Lemon Lime is better now. Like has a better matchup against Ruby Sapphire.
It always has, right? That's
Well,
the
I'm
problem, yeah.
saying it's even better. If it was like 51-49 before, now it's
Sure.
like
Not-
55-45.
You just
and, like,
win more.
60-40.
Exactly. You just win more.
Yeah.
Great.
That's what I'm saying.
Still 7 points. 7 points is 7 points. I agree with this. Santi Red Blue.
Red Blue. Yeah, it could be a lower A. Just because the discard is real aggressive and we still don't know.
Yeah.
So I think so the one thing with Lemon Lime is just like it's so discard heavy, but it's so slow of a game plan to where Red Blue I think has a better chance of coming back against that versus these two because you can build more aggressive heavy versions where like not only are you for this specifically you're pushing the game, you can build a deck where you're pushing the game and you're discarding. And in Amber Steel, I mean, I don't know. It's not better than Red Blue. But in this case, it's just higher than Lemon Lime, right? But so that's the thing with me when it comes to, I guess we can all agree Red Blue is still better against Amber Steel. But when it comes to like Green Steel and Lemon Lime and which one it's better than, I just think
50-50. It could be actually.
I
50-50.
think it's
Green Steel's actually
Yeah, it's
50-50
tough.
against Red Blue if
the
you
thing
think
is,
about it.
Green Steel is just like you can play I think it's gonna be Merfolks again, and like play aggressive and still play like discard,
you just
like it was
lose-
last set.
Then you just lose aggressively to Amber Steel, which makes Amber Steel go in the front, right? I don't think that's the way. I mean, you could be
Well,
correct.
it
for
doesn't
sure.
matter if you do that or you play Diablo. It's dying to if you have Cindy opener, you're losing to that anyway
No, not Cindy.
on the draw.
Cindy dies to Diablo too.
Daisy, I don't mind if you play Daisy. I'll just swing.
Yeah,
into
I don't actually
and
like
play
Daisy against
Calhoun.
Green for sure. Daisy's like the worst
So-
card against Green.
Okay. Well, then I like it even more.
It doesn't make it like bad card. I'm just
Because
saying.
I'll just
I
play
just
Prince
don't
John
like.
on 3 and then just discard your hand and then just draw a shit ton. And then by turn 4, I can play 2 2-drops every turn. And all my 2-drops are Calhoun or Shmi.
I mean, think of these two decks existed for a long time, and this is played out already. Like these two matchups,
Yeah.
there's nothing different. It's played out.
It's like whoever gets more piece. That's really what that game comes down to.
It's like whoever Pete's last wins.
Yeah.
That's it.
So bottom of A then?
I would say bottom of
All right. We have one more. Purple Steel.
A. Bottom A.
I think it's bottom
It's
A.
A.
I could do that below. Yeah. Well, if red blue is going towards a more item centric, doesn't that put purple steel in a better position? Because when everyone was playing the more item, I mean, they were playing a really heavy item version, which I don't think it's going back to like a really heavy item version, but it's playing more items.
I mean, it's just adding what's his name? Maurice's Workshop. It's it. I think it's it.
Yeah, but
that
now
and Scrooge.
more people are playing like the ice blocks and everything. I don't know. You're taking out. I think you're taking out more to add these things. Like
Could be.
you're taking out because if you want to keep a good uninkable count too, like you have to remove something on the uninkable side.
I don't know if actually you play Ice Block anymore like that. What are you trying to hit with Ice Block?
I mean, some people weren't even playing Ice Block, you know.
Yeah, because like if you look at the list right now, there's nothing really that you need to Ice Block in this like 5 decks.
In this format, yeah, moving forward, except like the mirror match, depending
it was more for
if
the
they
mirror
go
match.
shark heavy, but like Amber Steel and
You're hitting everything, bro.
Emerald Steel just Zeus the hell out of you.
How's
Yeah.
how's the purple steel matchup against amber steel?
It's pretty good. I mean, like Amber Steel wise, like it's the only problem is I think depends on the list. The purple steel list that runs the dock build might be more susceptible
Yeah,
because like you just have a weaker hand, right? Because
Well,
you can't
know,
hold stuff.
all of those build play dock. All of purple steel plays the dock.
Not really,
I'm
right?
pretty
Not
sure
not every purple
every
steel.
list that succeeded played the dock build.
Not really. There was like the Bivens deck. Because Bivens doesn't play dock. He plays like just 4 Zeus and 4 Strength.
Oh, I mean any
I mean,
purple
if
steel.
there's
that-
any card that if there's anyone that you could credit for purple steel, it's definitely Bivens.
Ye-
Because the idea behind dock is like you can't keep cards. You have to constantly empty out your hand or have a card that doesn't have any value long term wise. Like cards that has value like right now are the cards you need to play. So
Well, you're kind of incented to empty your cards with the addition of Giant Cobra.
right. Well, maybe. Which that's what I'm saying. So like Ember Steel is better into the Giant Cobra
Wait, so
specifically.
amber? You said amber steel is better?
I
my-
mean,
the
not
reason
as
I
I guess
asked-
yeah.
Because I think it's way worse against lemon lime and green steel, but I think it could be better than red blue. So my thing is
definitely
if
could be better. Than
if it's better, if it's worse against these 3, then that still makes it below red blue because
Yeah.
red blue has a better matchup.
I can agree with that.
Purple steel, Santi. Any opinions on it?
I think it would be more.
And I
Yeah.
think it's aggressive. I think it is better than Ruby M.
It is better than Ruby M. Yeah,
Dude, I can't put Ruby
So it's
MF
either
B,
top
bro.
B-
I just can't.
It's either top
It doesn't
B
feel
or
right.
bottom A. I think. I don't like. It's the same shit, but like, I guess it's like, do you see it more on the tier of this, or do you see it more on the tier with these? I guess that's how I would think it. I think I personally see it more on the tier with these.
I think I want to agree with you. Yeah, I think
Almost every
because
purple
like
deck
that was the
is
deck
B.
being used to get under red blue, but like since red blue might be like less
Right.
represented,
Yeah.
just the other
That's
steel
true.
colors do it way better.
Yeah,
Yeah, all the purple decks
That's
are just
crazy.
B tier.
I really don't agree with this. No,
Don't-
it's true. A.
don't
You
play-
don't? You think it should be A? Is that what you're saying?
No, not purple steel specifically. This is a. I really
All
don't. I just it's.
So let's go back. Then let's. All right,
No.
it's-
I mean,
it's
this is
done.
this
We're-
final. This final. Yeah,
we're-
that's it.
We're done. No,
Yeah,
I'm saying
it's done.
we're looking at it now.
Yeah.
Does you like? Would you change your mind about anything?
You know what? I really like it. Purple red is just one of those decks.
Yeah.
They're never lost, man. Like they always find their way back because purple also has the best pool of cards too, right? Like it's just the most consistent cards in the game.
So where'd you
And
put
red is just I would put it on
A?
like low A because of its history, not because of how it's performing right now, which I think like we don't even know.
Okay,
There's really no meta.
Think of this world though of like post Hiram, there are gonna be other decks which we've kind of agreed are gonna be these three that more than likely are gonna like increase in representation and have more of a showing. And I mean, I think it's a little closer to a 50-50 than you're saying. I mean, you've played it a lot more obviously than I have, and you think Amber Steel is definitely favored against Ruby Am, right? And
Certain
I
builds, specific
definitely
builds.
think
Yeah,
I think these two are definitely favored against it. I think the
sure.
only one this one is like favored against is Red Blue Red Blue. And I still think it's worse than Purple Steel though. So post Hiram and like where we think we're going to see the meta fall and what decks we think are going to be represented, I think out of the top 6, it's worse than 4 of them, which I think justifies where it's at in the list, in my opinion.
I can see that too.
Unless you do think it's better than some of these
No.
other ones.
Because outside of like putting lemon lime, let's say that we do put lemon lime in B, then something has to replace that, right? And I think it would
Doesn't
be.
have to.
I'm just saying, like, well, that's true too. But between the three of those, let's say, regardless of the build, red purple is 50-50 into amber steel. Let's just put it that way. Red purple is better against red blue, slightly worse against green steel, depending on like the build again, right? Because my opinion, right? So I've been hyping up Moana since like that card came out,
Mm.
but Moana being an evasive 4/3 is kind of insane to me. Like the deck just has a lot of ways to deal. Genie, right? Genie deals with green steel. Like I think Genie in combination with Shark actually was the reason Diablo disappeared last season.
Mm.
And now that red blue or red purple can play green. If green still is like a big problem, red purple doesn't have a problem changing back into Genie and dealing with Diablo again and Elsa for Genie. I mean, what are we gonna do, right? So that's why I feel like if we can switch the lemon lime to red purple just because of the card pool that that red purple has. Should there be a problem between like the four? That's the Trinity. That's the not Trinity. I'm sorry. That's the box. That's the jail that we live in.
Yeah.
It's green steel, amber steel, red purple, and red blue. That's always been that. It's I think in my opinion, those are the best. Those have been the best deck in history.
Yeah, like okay, in history, yeah. I'm just gonna say right now though, if this isn't a list of like what we think is gonna be most represented, because do I still see
I think
like
so.
a higher percentage of red, purple over lemon lime? Like sure, I think if we had a DLC tomorrow, I think more people would still go in with more red, purple. Like we'd see more representation of that than lemon lime, but I don't think that means it's better.
Wait, can we agree that Genie was actually probably the reason why Diablo disappeared? Genie alongside with Shark,
Elsa was a big deal.
Genie,
But Genie and Elsa, though, right?
bro,
Played in the same
all
deck
those
for
cards,
sure.
yeah.
That
Right?
really disappeared for sure.
So don't you think like now that we can actually go back to the Elsa Genie build and screw green steel, which puts red purple like
It
in a
doesn't
better spot?
It doesn't screw it though. I think
You don't think that Elsa and
No.
Genie just
Mm.
screws Diablo left and right?
I
Just
think
beat him
you-
up like
I think you just you play ultra discard heavy, and I know you disagreed with this sentiment, but when I was playing green steel a lot recently, and not this set but last set to the set before, and you were playing against Ruby M, a lot of the times I was beating Ruby M was because I played a more Prince John centric, just discard the shit.
I don't
out of 'em.
disagree with that. When did I disagree with that?
No, but I'm saying
I'm just saying I don't keep those cards. I still mull for Diablo for sure. And if you find Prince John along the way, I mean that's perfect. You win the matchup.
yeah, but if I see a Prince John opening in a good, like, solid discard curve against red purple, I'll take that. Because, like, I played Abe, and not to bring it back, when I played him with the green steel, and it was other people too that were playing Ruby Amethyst, but it was like when I played him, I had like the perfect hand that was discard. He had like 4 cards in his ink by the time he ran out of cards, and I had a grip because I played it a Prince John heavy way.
Also,
And he had no cards in hand, and it's like you could play rabbit, but then like he was put in positions like, do I draw off the rabbit, because then if I can't play the card I draw, he's just gonna discard it. And it's like I gotta hope I draw into an inkable because then like it progresses my game. So I want an inkable so I could just ink it. But then like if I don't draw an inkable, if I draw like a Tremaine, he's just gonna discard it and then get value out of it. So
How do you out Genie as green steel? Don't say
strength.
Zeus. We don't do
strength
strength.
is
Okay.
yeah. You're playing Genie on curve on 4 because there's no ramp, right? So you're playing Diablo. You have a 2-drop, and let's say you're on the draw, so you have a 3-drop. He plays Genie. Play 4-drop. Sing strength. So
All it is like when I was playing green steel versus red purple, because in all reality they figured out how to play against green steel. Good red purple
you
player.
think so? Because you're gonna
Well,
just say like you
that's
just
not-
hold cards and you don't play them, but like
Right. That's
you're
the
still
strategy.
you're still
That's
discarding
the same
cards.
strategy. You are, but the whole point is to get to 6 and 7, right? Like Pete existed at that time. It's just a matter of like you get to 6 or 7, you out the card, and then you out the other card, and then because once red purple's at a certain like threshold,
Mm-hmm.
you green steel being a slower deck can't like you can only have so much strength to out one Genie, assuming you have 4 characters on board that lived against purple, that has like type your character, swing to that guy with evasive. Like there's so many ways to get rid of your board, to challenge your board because your cards are weak, right? Like weak in terms of like stats wise, right? Sure, some of them most of them got ward, but I feel like red purple once they get to a point like turn 6, turn 7, and they do have the ink, all they really need is to top deck that one card that clears you. Just like with red blue. My thing is that the red purple players that figured out how to play against green steel, if they add Genie and Elsa again, if green steel becomes like the best deck,
Then
I
they'll
think
be
green
discarded
steel.
before you could play them. Or you value,
There's no way.
or you're inking
Because-
them
because-
because
wait,
you're
wait, here's the
discarding
thing.
everything else.
Here's the thing, because it wasn't that way when we did play it.
No, well, when we did play it,
It wasn't that way. There was never a world where when
If
I
you
played
played a-
Genie, I had like two cards left.
If you
there was
played
never.
a good green steel player,
What, you just drew the cards more than I did? What?
if you played a good green
So
steel,
a bad green steel player didn't discard your hand?
give me
Is
one
that what you're
second.
saying?
If you're playing a
Go ahead.
better green steel player,
Uh-huh.
and they're discarding your hand, you're always discarding the Tremaines. You're discarding the B preps
Sure.
so they don't
100%.
get Ursula.
Yeah.
Right. Which then what happens to Elsa? It becomes ink.
Well, that's because like you played the cards that aren't drawing. Remember, the whole point against green steel is like you only play the cards that drew. If it didn't drew, you pass. You ink one pass, ink one pass, ink one pass. Genie pass.
Okay, go ahead and draw and just keep
That's
feeding my
that's how
Diablo.
it's been. That's how it's been, bro. It hasn't changed.
Or you play
This isn't new strategy. This is how it's been.
and in history, even good red purple players lost to green steel.
Sure.
Even
And
the
also won.
best,
Yeah.
actually. And yeah, there were matches where they won. Yeah, I mean, because it's gonna happen with any deck. Amber Steel sucks against red blue, but there's still people that won sometimes.
But
that
think about it.
happens.
When Genie and Shark was like D cards to play, remember? Genie was like $40-some. When Genie and Shark was D cards to play, Green Steel was nowhere to be found.
What do you mean?
Not a single soul played Green Steel. Zan dropped the deck. Nobody's playing Green Steel.
Zan
when-
dropped the deck.
when-
It was
well-
last set. He was still playing green steel. He played
That
green
is true,
steel at
actually.
Continental.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
and he got fourth, or was it
Sure.
finals against that? I don't.
But
No,
he,
no, it
he
wasn't
played.
finals.
But he played against obviously like the meta is.
But you're also famous for mentioning how like Shark is still bad against steel.
it is
'cause
bad.
Pete.
100%.
Well then Shark.
Okay, but
didn't-
I'm not the only guy that plays Shark. If Shark becomes D card, and we're back to the Genie Elsa world, I think Green Steel and collaterally Lemon Lime too gets deleted from the format because now we can just play because again right, the problem is like those colors are equipped to deal with those cards. Like it's not like, oh, I just lose because you have this card.
I don't know. I don't.
I'm not saying like all of
mean-
a sudden red purple is like favored against green steel. I'm just saying like when Genie was a card and Shark was a card in the meta, green steel was nowhere to be found. Zan Sayed was the only person that played it because obviously, come on, bro, that's his deck.
Nah.
My argument is that the cards that was played last set, which is mostly Genie until the end where Ed figured out that it wasn't Genie, right? So because of red blue though, Genie was gonna play because of red blue's the dominance, because of Sisu, right? But now that let's say red blue is no longer the dominant deck, is there really a reason for you not to play 4 genies if green steel is the better deck? So now if you play 4 genies, you probably play 4 Elsas, which means Diablo is forever gone. Not forever. It's an exaggeration, but that's why Diablo was died that set because of the purple cards, in my opinion. On top of Shark,
I don't know.
I dropped the
You're
deck because of
thinking in
Shark.
a world where like
nothing's
red
changed.
purple gets
Nothing's
like has unlimited draw and like the discard doesn't.
Nothing's changed, bro.
Okay, so
I'm just saying,
so
like,
you think
I'm saying-
Ruby Amethyst is favored against green steel.
It's not favored.
Okay,
It's not
all right,
favored.
All right, then.
Nope, we
what's
weren't
the
talking
argument
about
then?
favored. We were not talking about favored. I'm saying it
Then what is
belongs
the
in the A
conversation
tier.
about?
It belongs in the A tier instead of lemon lime, because
But you just said
because
that
those because it's equipped.
you
to,
just
to
said it's
beat red-
not favored against any of these 3 or this one. Or do you think it's better than purple steel? You didn't officially say that you thought it was worse.
purple steel.
Yeah, what do you think's better in that one, or favorable, I should say?
Red has B prep. Well, they have Pete. What does red have that those decks struggle?
But I
with?
mean,
Sisu? Maui?
Purple steel,
Maui?
you know, has
Medusa?
Calhoun,
Medusa's probably
Shmi
worse.
that kills everything in red blue or red purple. I mean,
Well, they have like 4 asses, and you have to trade body to body.
well, now
is
with
good.
the queen, but aside from queen, it
Nobody's
was only.
okay. All right, we're not playing queen. Let's
Oh,
get
okay.
real.
Well then, all right. Well
Not
then
playing
it's
queen.
even worse. Then, 'cause then
actually,
it's just Sisu.
or actually, maybe you do play queen now because right, even a better addition to the deck, which is the queen, because queen is actually only good against steel. The reason why you can't play steel, queen, the two drop from set 7. The reason you can't play it right now because red blue is like everywhere, and that's bad against red blue. But now that steel is really good, I feel like we probably do play queen now. You play queen now, and then Sisu on 3, and then Genie on 4, and Elsa on 5. Nothing's alive, bro. Who you gonna strength? Genie, sure. Elsa, damn. Oh, I'm under a cove. I'm like, great, pass.
All right. So what do you think's better, Ruby Amethyst or Amethyst Steel?
Now
do you
that
think's
I've
favored?
been fighting for it, I kind of have to stick with Ruby Amethyst now, bro.
That's crazy.
I feel like I can't. Be like,
We established that of
well,
it's
y'all
only
established
better-
that. Y'all established. I didn't
Well,
agree with that.
you
like,
really
all the
don't.
way.
You really don't think purple steel is better? And you think it's
Yeah, I really don't think lemon lime belongs there. Anyway,
you don't think okay, hold
the
on.
get-go.
But what is lemon lime so bad against out of all these?
it's
where-
not as bad. It doesn't have a good matchup against stuff anymore because
against what?
It doesn't have a good matchup against or like in the meta where 33% was red blue and blue steel. It was correct to play lemon lime because you were favored in those decks.
Well, it's better against red blue now.
What? Blue steel and red blue. I said both. I'm
Oh,
saying
no,
lemon
no,
lime
no,
was
I
good
said-
against those 2 decks.
Yeah, it's better against red blue.
Sure.
now.
Like it wins here, it wins Omega on the other side. Sure. It still wins against those 2 decks. But now that those 2 decks aren't even like blue steel is dead. The item version. But since red blue is like less represented, there's no reason for lemon lime to be better.
But you said it's also a tough matchup for Amber Steel.
Well, it depends on what build of Amber Steel
And then-
too, right?
What do you think how do you think the matchup is against green steel?
Lemon lime versus green steel.
Mhm.
I personally never tried it actually.
It's tough both sides. Like it's not. So I think it's just the fact the only one.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can say
I'm
that-
sorry. The big Pete, the Captain Pete, the Space Pete. So
Mhm.
yeah, shit's on lemon lime too.
I don't think it shits on it.
Bro, you can't sing songs. How you outed? You hard cast. We don't talk about Bruno on 5. At that point, brother, like what?
No, you know what?
The Pete, the big Pete, the pirate, space pirate Pete.
Space pirate. It's
How do you out that as lemon lime?
Lemon lime is tough.
It is tough.
It's not tough. It's
No,
it's
it's
impossible
funny.
almost.
It's-
You have to hard
Same
cast,
issue with Maui Shark. Same issue with Maui Shark. Like, we have no way to out that card. 0 ways to out that card.
and this guy has resist. I mean, resist
have
doesn't
to
matter.
Bruno.
resist one. Yeah, it doesn't matter for that. But I was thinking
You
after
can't sing.
after I read that it's better against Amber Steel.
You can't sing. Well,
World's great
it's
is
not.
hard.
We have Naveen. We'll shit on that.
No, it's better against
have
Amber,
Naveen.
Amber Steel just because of the fact
have
that it's like the
Naveen.
resist one. It doesn't
Sure.
die. It doesn't
Sure.
die to Zeus. And it's a 5-5,
Okay,
which is just good.
It's not a bad argument actually.
It kills
I'll take
Rapunzel
that.
in one hit.
I'll take that. That's not a bad thing. But
So
like
I'm saying it's better now after the Hiram.
all this conversation we had has nothing to do with Hiram.
Well,
Unfortunately,
because against Red Blue, it just okay. Not against Hiram. Sorry. Well, I'm saying it's better now that Hiram's gone because like
Red
of the
Blue's not a
decks-
represented
because
anymore.
of the decks are the
Representation.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Well, Pete is tough against Amber Steel, and
It is,
well,
yeah.
I haven't played Amber Steel against that Pete. That's why I can't really say much. But just looking at that, I'm like with resist 1-5-5, I'm
Hey,
probably in tears.
Buy it off TCG right now.
probably-
Foils.
You should. I think you should. I think you should definitely buy the Pete's foils if you are foiling. I'm no longer a green steel foiler.
But yeah, all right. Well, I think we could go on for days, honestly,
Yeah.
and we just have to see how it all pans out.
Yeah.
I think for now this is solid. Santi, you have any changes you think after looking at it?
No, everything looks like it's where it needs to be.
Cool.
Other than I'm kidding.
Yeah. All right.
Dude,
well,
did you see a chat? What if someone was chatting and they're
Yeah,
like,
the whole time.
"This the whole time,
We've
bro."
been ignoring what
Alright,
they've
we're
been
good, we're
saying.
good, we're good,
yeah,
we're good.
no one's watching us.
Damn,
This
that's
is all
crazy.
gonna be
Oh.
yeah. This is all gonna be a what's it called? A YouTube
Yes,
episode. pretty much.
sir.
All right. Well, good conversation. Long conversation, but I liked it. It was good.
Good.
Ultimately,
If
We-
Mosey was here, this would have been a 3-hour
right.
show.
Ultimately,
Red Bull's hard to
we
play, bro.
agree on the Hiram. Like, it didn't need to be banned, but like, I guess that you're pairing it up with a ban of Fortisphere. You're like, I guess okay,
You're like-
Hiram, but
you're like,
Fortisphere.
How'd that happen?
And yeah. All right, guys.
How
Well,
did they arrive to that?
thank you for coming through. If you did in the live stream, and for anyone on YouTube, we appreciate you coming to view. Please like, subscribe. Things are shaking up. Hopefully we get some event announcements,
Bro, Worlds has to happen
Hopefully.
after that.
Germany, bro.
dude.
Has to happen. Worlds has to happen after that. They can't just ban a card and then not announce a freaking
Hey guys,
anything
I know
at
it doesn't
all.
matter because there's no real events going
There's
on.
no
right now,
DLC anyway, so like just play whatever you want.
All right, that's like really what it
Damn,
would
that's
be.
so bad.
But all right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. We want to actually play a little bit here.
A lot of it.
Well,
a
at
little
least
One
us.
Piece.
Yeah, right. One Piece.
Peace.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Have a nice day. See y'all.